asylum.
Hail Hydra.
Hey folks, welcome to another Hydra Hangout here at Hydra Slab Comics. I am Jay. This is where we're going to talk about some movies or trailers or stuff we've watched. Definitely going to be talking about comics we've read and any comics that we're excited for in the future. So, if you're just here for the reviews or just want to hang out in the chat, you're definitely in the right place. So, before I get started with everything, there are a couple of Kickstarters I want to shout out. We got a bunch of them coming from Dynamite. Now, Dynamite is not a sponsor, but I like some of their stuff. And if you noticed, at 2:30 this morning, we went live for Sean to do his unboxing of the mystery box that he got from the Comic Collectibles show. That's a Dynamite Dynamic Forces show on the Experience. So be sure you check that out. He requested a Space Ghost theme for this box, and they definitely did not disappoint. He pretty much got the entire run. So I think he's missing like an issue or two. So there's a Red Sonja mystery bag. There's one that I wish I could get on just because I love the series so much, but they got the Boys anniversary graphic novels. And then the last one's a pretty big one, y'all. So a couple nights ago, I was scrolling through YouTube and I happened to see this live, and I was like, this guy looks an awful lot like Nick Barucci. Well, it turned out that him and Brian Polito were doing a live for the launch party of the Evil Ernie Omnibus Collection, which they funded that thing. I think I said earlier it was and by earlier I mean that live at the dead of night. 48 minutes they funded, and the last time I looked at it, which was a couple hours ago, they were north of $260,000. So trust me, you're guaranteed to get something if you want to get on this one. Let's see. Then I got two more I want to shout out. We got Mostly Dead. Our buddy Alan Dunford worked on this. Alan, who did Hocus Hocus and Grandma Chainsaw and a bunch of great horror books, and we'll be getting in soon, but In Your Skin. That I got to read the PDF of that a while back. It still creeps me out. I cannot wait to get my physical copy in. They got a book called Mostly Dead. Make sure you check that one out. And then Sean reminded me, because somehow I didn't have the link in here. I think I accidentally deleted it. But Dan Price has his fourth installment of this particular series. There's 5 books. One's a prequel. But he's got his Bigfoot Knows Karate that funded in 3 hours, which I know comparative to Evil Ernie, that doesn't sound good, but you got to understand, Evil Ernie, Brian Polito, Nick Barucci, and then Dan and Casey, very, very small, I don't want to say small creators, but you know what I mean. This book right here, though, if you've never read this series from them, when we first got it, we got our PDF. Sean and I read it on the TV. I've told this story a million times. I'm going to always tell this story. But we're reading this thing on the TV. At first, we're kind of like, okay, yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Bigfoot Knows Karate. Then there comes a point in that book, a turning page, if you will, where every other page was, holy crap, what is going on? Dan sold us on the book by not actually telling us what the book was about, but it's phenomenal. So make sure you check that one out too. Again, for for smaller indie folks, getting their book, funded first day, let alone in 3 hours, is phenomenal. That's so awesome. Great to hear that. Uh, Something else we still got going on. I want to talk about this again real quick before I bring the other folks on. I'm not alone, trust me. So Ben 10 from Dynamite, y'all, sold out. Already is going to a second print, but you can still technically get first prints if you grab the EXP exclusives. You can go to theexplive.com, go underneath, I want to say it's merchandise, and you can get that first one was the A cover. This one's the Virgin cover. We got a line art cover. We got a line art Virgin cover, and then there's also a bundle option if you want to get all 4 covers. Be sure to check that out. This book, Jay Fosgate cover. So want to thank, personally, I want to thank the folks at Dynamite, Nick, I want to thank Jen, and I definitely want to thank Kyle for putting in the hard work, and of course Jay Fosgate, the artist, for putting in the hard work to get this done. We are hoping to push this thing and move some units, folks, because we really, really want to be able to have more opportunities to do exclusive covers. You're not going to get these in comic shops unless a comic store owner goes to the EXP and buys a bunch of them and sells them on their show. You can also get them on the EXP shows, which I think it's not there. I do that sometimes too. Where did it go? That's not it. There we go. I'm professional over here, folks. Go to the EXP, watch the shows. The sales shows are going to have them. I think some of our other shows are going to have an opportunity. I'm not exactly 100% sure how that's going to work out. But if you're a Ben 10 fan, or know someone who is, or you're a Jay Fosgate fan, or you just want to read a really good book, folks, because I'm going to be talking about this book when we get to our reviews, because I read it. I've never watched the show. I know the basic concept of what the show's about, but it's actually a pretty solid first issue. So I'll definitely be talking about that. So I bet you that's where it was. I had it in the wrong spot. That is also what she said. So I'll take that one off there. There we go. See, it's that one right there. Right there. Click on that. Check out the shows, not only for the exclusive cover, but it's a great channel. You're going to hear the dog because he's in here. Jenna's not feeling exactly well, so he's mad. He's not in there with her, so he's going to be crying and raising a fuss like a freaking 2-year-old. So, but anyway, let me go ahead and bring the other guys on, and let's welcome in, folks, all the way from parts unknown. We got the weird one.
Hydra.
Mr. Nope.
What's happening?
What's going on, guys? Long time no talk.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
feel like I haven't seen y'all in forever.
Wishful thinking don't make it right, man.
And I wanted to bring y'all in first just so I could do this. Make sure you're subbed up to Weird Dopes, folks. Got a lot of cool stuff over there already, and I know they got a bunch of cool stuff planned for the future. You don't want to miss out, folks. They had an interview with Henri that was just hilarious. I'm too old to piss myself laughing, but I almost did. So be sure to check them out over there. Don't have anything to. I did something new today, so I'm having to test out the buttons over here on the side. I added notes And I found that my notes, unlike the last couple of times I've tried, have actually stayed this time. So I don't have to be like, well, I wrote all these notes and now they're all gone. They're still there this time. So I'm very happy about that. So I'm kind of just like checking that out while I'm trying to. Everything's live, folks. There we go.
And they're gone.
Yeah, and they're gone. It's all gone. So I don't think I kept the. Yeah, I did. So last week we talked about the teaser trailers for 2 horror movies, the Resident Evil one and the teaser for Evil Dead Burns. Well, no, not Evil Dead. Yes, Evil Dead Burns.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The Resident Evil and the Evil Dead putting together kind of swirled around on me. So they released another trailer. They released a bit longer one for Evil Dead Burns. Watched them both. There's a Green Band one that I watched first, which was okay. It was okay, but I was like, man, they're not really getting into the gore or anything with this one. And then I noticed, oh, I'm watching the Green Band. So then I looked at the Red Band trailer. Holy crap. I don't need another trailer now. I will say this, though, and luckily for me, I don't have a great memory anyway. I'll forget it by the time the movie comes out. But I feel like the trailer kind of showed too much. And what I mean by that is I want to be surprised who gets turned into a Deadite and who gets killed. And this trailer, unless it's a fake out, kind of showed a lot of that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to watch another trailer. I'm still going to watch the movie because I'll forget. But for people who have good memories, I hope this trailer doesn't spoil you too much. I think it's just a little too spoiler filled. Again, unless they're pulling a Marvel and they fake everyone out. That's the only thing I can say on that one. It looks good though. Like, I'm an Evil Dead fan, so y'all watched anything recently trailer wise or
I haven't watched any movie trailers, but what I have been watching lately is comic book trailers. And there's been a couple of them that really look cool. I got to see the Absolute Green Arrow trailer. Oh, yeah, he just popped it up there.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about next.
You read my mind. And that definitely had me intrigued. And the other one was Breakout. And it's about Barbara Gordon. You read my mind again. And those were 2 really cool trailers. Got me excited about DC books. And I don't remember the last time I said those words. But I'm probably going to read both of those, at least the first one, see what's up.
Yeah. I haven't read Absolute Evil. Now, Absolute Evil kind of shows you what happens to Green Arrow. So
Absolute Evil?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't okay. So I guess before they did the Absolute line, when they did Absolute Batman and all that, they had this kind of Amanda Waller story that was Absolute something. And then
okay. I remember that.
I can't remember the actual name of it, but so I think after it was either Wonder Woman or Flash came out, they did Absolute Evil, which was basically them showing the villains of this Absolute universe getting together. Well, in that one, spoiler alert, folks, he dies. Oliver Queen's killed in that book. So I have theories, or I had at least theories on who this Green Arrow was going to be. But then we get to the synopsis, the blurb about what the book is going to be. And it's like gritty horror kind of vibe to it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm hoping they're not doing like zombie Oliver Queen or something, but now I'm not so sure it's not Oliver Queen 100%.
I know who it is. It's Henry Cavill. He's everything.
Oh, well, that's true. I thought it was going to be Mephisto. But I'm really excited for that one. And Barbara Gordon Breakout, I'm actually going to be talking about just a small piece of that book was in one of the books that I also read the sampler. So when we get to that DC sampler, I got thoughts on that too. But I'll talk about what I'm excited for.
I read the sampler, but there wasn't much to read about Barbara. There was no words.
Well, I took a little bit of issue with that too. The way it was presented in the sampler as opposed to the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Took a little bit. I was like, why did you do that? But I'll talk about that when we get to the sampler, because I didn't understand the decision to do that. But I'll get to that. Something that I've heard, I've just seen. I haven't seen any confirmation, but I also hadn't researched it. I just found it while I was grabbing covers and stuff today. Apparently, they're thinking about doing Heroes for Hire. Now, do you remember the Netflix Marvel stuff that they did? First of all, awesome. I don't care what anybody says about Iron Fist. I enjoyed Iron Fist the first season. I thought the second season was definitely better. The part about Iron Fist that was most upsetting to me was hearing that Finn Jones they didn't train him on anything, basically. He was doing fight choreography in between takes of the show. This is supposed to be the Iron Fist of Kung Lung, and it barely looked like he could fight. Now, when they did the Defenders, where they basically took all their shows that they were doing, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, put them together and did that one season of Defenders, seeing Iron Fist and Power Man together, I was like, this is how it should have been, honestly. I liked the Luke Cage show. I liked the Iron Fist show. But as soon as seeing the Defenders, just seeing the chemistry the two actors had with each other, it felt like Danny and Luke, their friendship, which has always been one of my favorite things in Marvel Comics. And that's only reading one or two issues of actual Heroes for Hire, but it's seeing them in other books when they're together. If this is true, I think this is a hell of a smart idea. You can have your Daredevil Born Again show. You could do a Jessica Jones show if you wanted to. But Heroes for Hire using both of those characters, that's smart. That is insanely smart. And I'm hoping this is real. Like I said, I just happened to see it. I saw that Charlie from, and I forget the channel name, Emergency Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that he talked about this for a little bit. I think Comic Book Cast was talking about Marvel doing this. So I'm hoping it's not a rumor. I'm hoping this is something that's going to happen, because while we haven't started Daredevil Born Again Season 2 yet, those Netflix shows were just great. Like, nothing really beats Daredevil to me. That Daredevil Netflix show, for me, all the way through was just solid. It was like the start of something great. But I really enjoyed what they did on what they've done with Born Again. So, I mean, like I said, if this is true, I'm super down for it. There's just certain times that people should be solo. Certain times I think they should be teamed up. Luke Cage and Danny Rand should be a team up, like, all the time. That's just how it should be. You get too in the weeds if you give too many people their own solo shows, I believe. That's like, if they decide to do X-Men and gave every single solitary X-Men member their own movie or TV show,
Well, and whenever you're training the guy in between the scenes, you can't really expect to have a real strong standalone show, Iron Fist, which that one I was kind of split on. I wanted it to be good. I wanted there to be, a Marvel Kung Fu, property out there, because I used to love watching Bruce Lee stuff.
Yeah.
And then it did not feel natural with the, how much they were moving, how they were moving, and it just felt wonky in that first season. And then second season came along, and that one just confused me.
Oh.
There was a lot of that just really just threw me off. I need to go back and watch it probably, but I think Jessica Henwick was probably my favorite part of that show.
Oh yeah, her as Colleen Wing was great. Misty Knight was great. I thought we were going to get Daughters of the Dragon with that one.
That was cool.
Funny enough, I know apparently Louis Tan is not in the second Mortal Kombat movie as much as he was in the first, but Louis Tan was also in the first season of Iron Fist. He played like the drunken fighter. I loved him in that show. I wish they could have got him to come back for something, but I get that second season. That second season did get very confused because it's not like I read a ton of Iron Fist as a kid or anything. This is just me going in watching a TV show because I thought it looked cool. And at the time we didn't have Shang-Chi. We didn't have that. Which, come on, Marvel, how much longer are we going to wait to do another Shang-Chi movie? Just wondering. It feels like it's been forever in between those. It's almost the Batman length between those movies now, which is I think 5 years. Which that's another thing. I've heard some stuff about that. We got some MCU people jumping over to DC. Scarlett Johansson is going to be playing Sebastian Stan, who's going to be Harvey Dent. Is going to be playing his wife.
Yeah, you just said Scarlett Johansson is going to be playing Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
I want to see that movie more than any other one right now.
I had my train of thought going. It's going to be playing his wife. I think the coolest thing they did was they were having trouble finding someone for Christopher Dent, who was Harvey's abusive father. The person they picked, though, perfect. Charles Dance. If you don't know who Charles Dance is, y'all, he was the Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. He was also, I can't remember the character name in Last Action Hero, but he was the dude with the glass eyeball in Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. But
Grant.
That's where I first seen him. Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure he was also in Jungle Book. He was Shere Khan, the voice for Shere Khan, because they always animated the faces to look a lot like the voice actors.
Yeah. Charles Dance is incredible. This is a role that it's Harvey Dent's dad. It's not like it's somebody everyone's overly familiar with, but for some reason they just had a hard time casting this character. And now hearing that they have him, awesome. Like this cast of this movie is stacked. But no more delays, folks. Like I've seen some pictures. Somebody took pictures of, hey, here's the snow in Gotham with the muscle car, the Batmobile in that movie. I'm just like, y'all, it's first one came out 2022.
Yep.
It's not gonna be coming out till 2027.
Yep. 5 years.
If y'all are planning on doing a third one, man, y'all can't wait another 5 or 6 years in between.
I ain't getting any younger over here.
Yeah.
Come on.
And it's got to be difficult, too, to wait that long, especially if you were a fan of the first one. If you love that first movie and you get teased with this, oh, yeah, in like a year or two, we'll have another one. Well, now we got to move it, further into the year. Well, now we're going to move it to the following year. It's like you risk people losing interest and
people forgetting
it. And then, of course, you have the people that hate on it that are just like, well, that just proves it's never going to be made. So then you got that whole other contention. And again, the Batman was one of those movies that almost united the Snyderverse and the regular DC fans over their dislike of it. So just know that, folks, if you hear somebody talking about they don't like the Batman, don't automatically assume they just love Snyder, because I've heard it from both sides now. I personally, I dig the movie. I can poke fun at it for some things, but overall, I thought it was a great movie. Now we could have shaved a little bit of the time off. There were some scenes I was like, yeah, just a little bit.
Should have been longer.
No.
Yes, I love
Then,
that.
then you get into Zack Snyder Justice League territory with it being 4 hours, but it could have actually been a 2 hour and 45-minute movie.
Hey, if they're going to be 5 years apart, they owe me a 4-hour movie. I love the Batman. I've said that more than a million times on here, though. So
yeah, like I said, I poked fun at it too, but in the end, I told people, but I liked the movie. I thought it was a really solid movie. It was nice seeing Batman be an actual detective and not just somebody who kicks ass. Although that first trailer they dropped, when he just mollywops that freaking dude, I was like, okay, it's a rage-filled, just becoming Batman. It's somebody who's still trying to figure out how to make Bruce Wayne the mask, because Batman's going to be who he is. Bruce Wayne is the mask, so people don't draw the conclusion. I've always had that flipped with him and Superman. I always used to say that, Superman is what he can do, Clark Kent is who he is. Well, in recent years, I'm like, he's just Superman. Clark is the mask. He's just Superman. That's just how he is. Batman, to me, has always been, Batman is who he is. Bruce Wayne might have been who he was when he was a kid, but these days it's just play the animated series, folks. I keep going back to Batman the Animated Series. Kevin Conroy was my first serious Batman. I liked Michael Keaton, don't get me wrong. Michael Keaton, I thought he was a great Batman, but for whatever reason, even though it's an animated show, Kevin Conroy was just my voice of my serious Batman. So that is a cartoon that to this day still holds up. The animated series is just like, that's why I've always wondered why DC has had so many problems with their live action stuff. You kind of have the blueprint with your animated stuff, but might be harder to
be pioneers.
Yeah,
Trying to
some
be
of their
and do
casting,
the new stuff.
some of their casting has just been off too.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, I almost did it. Thank you for beating me. Remember who you are. Shut the hell up and headbutt her already.
The crazy
Jesse
thing
Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor, and just snapping, talking.
You know what? In my head canon, he was not Lex Luthor. He was Alexander Luthor. He was Lex Luthor's son. That's my head canon for that. I wanted it to be some big thing where you find out, no, Bruce Willis is actually Lex Luthor or something like that. That's what I wanted it to be. Because I don't know what possessed him to go like, hey, I'm going to be like the Riddler who just took a bunch of ecstasy or something. But I did not understand. And then right after that, I want to say it was, there was a movie that had a cutscene with Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke when they're on Lex's boat. And I was like, now you're calm? Now you act like Lex? You should have been doing this in the first movie, man.
Right.
The BVS, the thing that I was worried about, like, I was gonna give Ben Affleck a chance as Batman. I was more than willing to give Gal Gadot a chance as Wonder Woman. And for me, those weren't even the two parts of the movies I had to worry about. Like, Gal's was less talking. I thought her action scenes were fine. And the first time you watch that movie and the theme hits, it's awesome. But when they start to do it, every time it's like Wonder Woman gets a cup of coffee. Hey, she's walking to the back of the backplane. Like, every time it started getting a little annoying. It did. And I get that. I don't understand how I went from liking Gal Gadot to They could probably do better now.
I went from disliking Gal Gadot to hating Gal Gadot, and it's Gadot.
She said it's Godot.
It's Gadot. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's bad acting. That's what it is.
Bad acting.
You know, talking like this, though, I did think of a trailer I saw.
Mhm.
And it was for the Ice Cream Man coming this fall.
Ah,
That looked like a lot of fun.
That does look good.
and the
Relatable.
the weird thing about hey, what's up, Lorena? The weird thing about that is I was really hoping it feels like it has the anthology format of the comic Ice Cream Man, but
Gay dot.
it's actually gay dot.
Lorena, remember who you are.
I know. But it's actually based off one that Clint Howard was in back in like the early 90s. So I don't know. Like it looks fun. It's an Eli Roth movie. But man, when I heard they were doing Ice Cream Man Ice Cream Man, I was like, oh, that's my first thought. Went to the series, which is an amazing anthology series, folks. If you haven't read Ice Cream Man from Image, very
It
good.
might migrate to a series if the movie does well.
Well, it's the thing. It's not based off that comic.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Really? Because
Yep.
it sure looked like it was.
I know.
Wow. How did you find that out? It's not that I doubt you.
No.
It looks so much like it.
I happened to say something in one video or something, and somebody's like, "No, look it up. It's more towards the Clint Howard Ice Cream Man." And I was like, "Yeah, but it really feels kind of like the comic." So I went and looked it up, and no, it's not associated or even loosely based off the comic. Like I look at the Wikipedia page for it. And I know people can edit that, but
Well, it could still lead to a series being made of the comic if it's popular because it's so damn similar.
yeah, like I'm kind of hoping maybe they pull a Prometheus on me.
That sounds painful.
They don't want you. Oh, it was. They don't want you to know that it's actually like for Prometheus. They didn't want you to wanted to let you know that it was actually an alien movie until the very end, and then you're like, oh crap, this is actually an alien movie. So I'm like, maybe they'll do that. I just want the damn movie so much because I love the series.
You just remind me of a comic I wanted to read, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I forgot to read it. I saw it on League, The Friendliest Face Hugger.
Oh yeah.
That looks awesome, and I totally forgot about it. I wanted to read that and totally forgot. I'll get it next week. Because that just looked like fun. Sounds like fun.
Let's see. I'm looking up the yeah, it's just a movie written by Eli Roth.
What is?
Ice Cream Man.
Oh.
But I still want to see it, but also it feels like so many things, okay? The trailer gave me vibes of the Ice Cream Man comic. Then they're talking about, well, it's kind of based off. I don't see any part of the Ice Cream Man for Clint Howard in this thing. So I think people were wrong on that. But then it also has a weapons feel. Because the ice cream turns kids into homicidal maniacs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It does look interesting, though. It really does.
I want to see it.
There's A couple of shark movies I want to see. None of them look great, but I want to see them because the last good shark movie I watched was Beast of War. That was actually a pretty cool movie. Practical effects on the shark, very, very gory. It almost felt like the story that Quint tells in Jaws come to life, but it's Australians. But it's almost the same concept, where the Australian boat, or I can't remember if it was a sub or some kind of ship, whatever, is torpedoed. So they're dropped into the water on all these sinking, like on their sinking ship, and there's debris in the water and stuff like that. And they're stalked by one shark, one big shark. But man, the practical effect, like I love practical effects.
I think that's Titanic, and the shark's name was Rose.
Oh God, I wish. I wish. Titanic. That's a movie that could have been an hour.
Yeah, it should have started with the damn boat sinking.
Yep.
I can remember seeing that live in a theater full of mostly women. I was on a date at the time. And after like 50 minutes, I yelled out loud, "Hit the damn iceberg already!" And I got so many looks from people. And my date, of course, slapped me, "Stop doing that." And then when he's sinking at the end, I was like, "Yeah!"
Go, Jack. Oh. But you did.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Drive me like one of your French girls.
Yes. My God.
And then the kinky grandma talking about being naked and getting all turned on while she's telling the story. Oh. And then at the end, she throws the stupid necklace away. And I'm like, this is the dumbest freaking movie I've ever seen. Just sink the damn boat already.
You could.
Going down.
You want to talk about songs you couldn't escape.
Well,
theme songs for movies you could not escape. My Heart Will Go On was everywhere. Not only was it everywhere, it was remixed and recut with clips from the movie.
Dude, I loved Celine Dion in the early 90s. I always said that woman could sing to me 24/7. I don't care what she looks like. Didn't give a crap what she looked like. Her voice was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I got so sick of that song that I started hating Celine Dion. Like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Go away. Yep. I don't want to know if your hot dog goes on. Just go away.
That's right. That's right. You know, the look I get from telling people that I wasn't a fan of that movie is close to the ones I get when I tell people, I know this is going to make a lot of people mad, I don't like the Beatles. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like the Beatles as solo acts, because While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Sweet Lord and, you know, Imagine and Live and Let Die was Wings, right?
Yes, sir. Paul McCartney and Wings.
Which to me always sounded like part of the Saw theme was in that song.
That song is like the epitome of James Bond songs. It's the one that just hits it right, man.
Yeah, but I like people covering their stuff.
I don't like the Beatles.
Yeah, see, I don't like the actual Beatles. That, and when I tell people I didn't like Friends, they look like I've kicked their small child. When I tell them, yeah, I didn't like Friends.
I'm not going to kick your child, but I freaking hate Friends and can't stand watching a single episode. But I won't kick your kid.
Yeah.
But I do hate Friends.
I do not like Friends at all.
I don't like either
How
of you
I
guys
Met Your
either.
Mother is the superior show. How I Met Your Mother is the superior show, okay?
No,
for sure.
Remember who you are.
You know, nope, I was asking Ed before we got on what a national champion was.
He tried to get me on the typo on my hat like some other prick did when I first showed it. Yeah.
Which, folks, there's no actual typo on the hat.
No, there's not.
I just like to
Speaking
watch
of
the
hats,
world burn.
In case nobody saw. Look at that. Love this thing. We'll be wearing it for every single live show we do from now on.
That's awesome. Glad you like it.
And eventually, I'll get a haircut so I don't look like I'm
I'll do it. Come here.
got a mullet. Jeez.
Man.
Yeah, love the hat. Yeah, that song, man. Like,
The hot dog goes on.
I don't even know if I dislike the movie as much as I dislike the song.
I dislike the movie way more than I dislike the song. The first hour of that movie could be cut, man, and just throw it out. The whole make-believe love song, the whole blah, just toss that shit and get to Bill Paxton and then just start the thing, sink the damn boat, the Hydra mullet.
I'm telling you, man. And trust me, it's not like I have a mullet. It's just my hair's so damn long. Get it back. That's what it looks like.
Use in the front, party in the back.
Man, look, I even tried to take one of Jenna's hair ties and tie it off in the back. Like, I got a ponytail, y'all. It's crazy. But when I did that, it made me look like I had a bob when I put the hat on. So I was like, yeah, that looks worse. Eventually, I just stopped being lazy and actually go get a haircut.
You need a man bun.
No top knots here, man. No top knots here. And I still haven't watched Invincible. Still haven't watched Daredevil. Still haven't watched The Boys, except for the one episode.
Still haven't watched Russian Yeti.
Still haven't watched that. Still haven't watched Penguin.
I heard some scuttlebutt about a possible season 2 of that.
Ooh. They need to do something like Gaston. Yes. Very much the exact.
Gastov.
Jeez. I'm hoping so, man. Like, I find myself, especially when I'm building this server thing, right? And I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this movie. So I'll sit there and I watched Adventures of Ford Fairlane the other night.
Nice. I love that movie.
Yeah. Movie's so great. Again, that's one of those, it's people want to hate on it. I think the movie's great. It's so good. What else? I was like, I already did my Guardians rewatch. Kroll, I watched Kroll. I talked about that last week. I was looking for Willow. I thought I had Willow because I also like Willow. But it's just, I'm like, man, there's so many new things I could be watching, but I'm just watching stuff I've seen over and over again.
That's because the new stuff sucks most of the time. So you want to go to something doesn't suck.
Yeah. Hey, you could watch Penguin. I could, or for the 9 millionth time, watch My Name Is Earl. And that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Watch My Name Is Earl. I love that show. I have to watch that and then one episode of Raising Hope. That's kind of like the ending for My Name Is Earl.
To quote a famous robot, that does not compute.
Oh, that computes all the way.
You have to try Penguin.
I know.
If you like the Batman, and it's sure as hell better to watch than My Freaking Name Is Earl.
No way.
Come on.
No way.
Oh,
no way. That show's so great.
You're killing me.
It is kind of interesting though that they went like a show about the Penguin. You would think on paper, why? But then they're like, well, Sopranos. And when I heard Sopranos, I was like, okay. I mean, we're not going to go to black screen. Don't stop. And then that's it, right?
Believe. Dude, the season finale of Penguin alone is worth watching it for. Just watch the last 20 minutes of the season finale if you're never going to watch it.
But I am going to watch it.
Yeah, after I lost my name, Zero. Get out of here.
That's right.
Get out of here.
Love that show. One of the best damn shows ever. So much rewatchability. So good. Jason Lee is phenomenal in that role. Ethan Suplee. Hater, Ed. Hater.
I like Bill Hader. He's a good comedian.
No.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he is. And Barry is an awesome show.
No.
If you haven't watched that, watch Barry. I never thought of Bill Hader as a badass until I watched Barry. And I was like, okay. It's like watching Bob Odenkirk that played Saul in Nobody? Bro, Nobody kicks ass. Like those movies are amazing. I need to. There's so much stuff because again, for what I do for work and for what I do here, I'm on YouTube and the internet a lot. And there's so much stuff to watch. And the unfortunate thing is spoilers won't stop me from watching something, but it just sucks that they drop a show and an hour later, spoilers for the whole thing is up. Like I know a bunch of stuff that already happens in The Boys. And it's not because I'm purposely looking, but people don't do spoiler warnings. They use the actual spoilers, the thumbnail. There's no getting around spoilers.
I heard a rumor about that. I heard that the series finale was going to be in theaters like they did with Stranger Things. I've read that on 3 different sites now that are usually semi-reliable. But I haven't heard like a big announcement. So I don't know if it's really going to happen or not. But that's what I've been reading in a lot of different places.
I will tell you the one spoiler that I looked up on purpose. I had to see the Supernatural reunion. I had to see the scene with Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins and Jensen Ackles all in the same scene. Like I had to watch. I couldn't stop myself. I had to watch that one. Worth it. Worth it for what happens. It's worth it. But yeah, I need to start watching something. I need to stop being like, okay, well, let me wait for Sean to be home so we can watch it together. Let me have Jenna in a mood where she wants to watch something. I need to be like, no, guys, I need to start watching this stuff because especially Invincible. I haven't watched a single episode of the new season of Invincible. It's already over. And Invincible's one of my favorite damn things going. Like, once they took off Superman and Lois, it was just like, Invincible's my thing now. So I'll go. I've even rewatched seasons of Invincible before I watch something new. I don't know.
I'd watch, yeah. Some of the new stuff is just so stupid.
I know, and like I want to jump into Shadows of Maul.
Nope likes that.
Okay, well, see that gives me hope.
But the animated stuff with Star Wars, you can watch any of it that's came out, between the Clone Wars, the Rebel series, or the Bad Batch. All of it solid. Stake my reputation on it. But like those series, if you had any issues with the prequel movies, that'll fill in any little plot holes, questions, gaps, whatever you have. It's adult enough to go back and watch it now, and there'd be plenty of stuff there. It doesn't feel cheesy. It's got good story, really good writing, and it's Dave Filoni is in charge of all of it with the animation stuff. So, or in Clone Wars, I think he was kind of like building his way up towards the top, but Rebels was him at the top. But he's come up with characters that are, big into the fandom now. But like Dave Filoni in charge of Star Wars stuff, in my opinion, has always been good. But definitely you got the haters and stuff out there, but he's in charge now, so I'm not afraid going forward. I
Was
trust him, of course.
was there? See, because I know there was Clone Wars, Rebels.
Well, and there's two different versions of Clone Wars too. There's a little small, very short series that they did that's actually like really animated, where it's 2D animation, and then the rest of them after that are all 3D animation, but you know, in a cartoonish fashion because they have proportions are a little bit off. I feel like all people look a little slender than naturally real people do, but otherwise,
That one's focuses on Anakin in between some of the movies, right? Is that what that one is?
the Clone Wars series follows Obi-Wan and Anakin, but it also focuses heavily on Anakin having an apprentice in between the Clone Wars movie and Revenge of the Sith. So it just gives his character more depth versus, you know, he just goes from kid to whiny adult. You know, it's what everybody always says about him and all the actors when it comes to that. But in my opinion, you watch the animated stuff and those voice actors and the writing behind that really just make those characters shine and polish after the fact.
Wasn't Ahsoka trained by Anakin?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I wrong?
Yep. No,
Okay.
that's correct. She actually started and got her start in the Clone Wars series, and Dave Filoni and George Lucas worked together and created her. So she's not completely out of the blue and created by the writer, nothing like that. Like George Lucas had a big part in approving and, you know, her backstory and all that kind of stuff. And because I want to say that was before the Disney buyout when they started the Clone Wars show. Like that was pre-Disney, and then the buyout happened, and then that was kind of up in the air. That show, they shut it down for a little bit, brought it back, and then shut it down again, and then brought it back once Disney Plus started back up, and they gave one final season for the Clone Wars show. But I think Rebels came out after the Disney buyout, but I could be wrong about that too. That could have been before Disney buyout also. Yeah. Very good.
Why wouldn't Princess Leia let Luke Skywalker into the cockpit of the Falcon?
Because she. Oh no! Hold on. Oh man! Damn it! Go ahead. I know it, but I can't remember.
Because she wants to ride solo.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, that's another one I've always been interested in. I've seen clips of it. I always get the two shows mixed up, though, Rebels and the Clone Wars, because if I remember correctly, the animation style is similar.
It is, but it is slightly different. There is definitely a noticeable difference. But once you start getting into the Rebels show, it's really only like the first handful of episodes that are like, this is funny, you know, but because you're so used to seeing the other style. And then the lightsabers are just like a little bit skinnier, don't look so full. So like just little things like that. But no, they whole bunch of depth, and obviously, you know, Ahsoka, the TV show, the live action, it's essentially and unofficially season 4 of Rebels.
I'm gonna have to get in and start watching some of that stuff.
Yeah, because all the characters in that Ahsoka show started off as animated characters, and Bo-Katan from The Mandalorian, she started off in the Clone Wars shows and is voiced by Katie Seagal, who plays her in the show. So they Sackhoff, whatever.
Yeah, Katie Seagal was
last night.
That would have kicked ass to see Peggy Bundy. That would have been awesome.
But you got Katie Sackhoff doing that, and then you also have Lars Mikkelsen that came to do the live action Thrawn for the Ahsoka show. He did the voice for Thrawn in the Rebels show. So they've been trying to actually do that as far as bringing the voice actors up to do the live action, but they haven't done it 100% of the time because you got Ezra and Sabine and Rosario Dawson, as Ahsoka. All those are different from voice actors, but
I don't understand why, but there's just something about I have a mental block when it comes to wanting to watch animated Star Wars. My mind just doesn't want to
It's that
do
damn
that.
Ewoks
And I don't know
cartoon,
why.
man.
Probably.
well,
Thanks for putting that back in my head. We are Ewoks, and we're one big happy family. Oh my god, I hated that.
he
cartoon.
wonders why this shit gets just stuck in his head. He just drolls it in after you make a small suggestion. He's just like, let me carry on this reminder for
I had to get
minutes
it out
and blame you for it.
I had to get it out before it got stuck. I had to get it out
You reinforced it. How is that getting it out?
because it's out of my head now. It's out in the world. Y'all can
The
have
call out. Holy shit, the call out.
it. Oh, God.
No, but with the animated Star Wars, it's like as soon as you see the first death, you're like, oh, this isn't really for kids. Okay. Because it gets heavy like that. Like, people aren't safe. There's no plot armor. Not for the side characters, anyways.
I had the same problem with Marvel, though. I only made it through the first season of What If because I was disappointed it was animated. I wanted it to be like a live action What If. But
See, I like What If, but I am not a fan of that particular animation style.
Me either. I didn't like it. That's why I
See,
haven't
it's not too
moved
far
on.
off from the Spider-Man ones, though. The
I know,
Spider-Man
and
movies.
it's weird. It's weird because I like those, but for some reason I just for What
Not in the
If.
What If show.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah, that
I
is
don't know
weird.
what it is.
It is different, though. Because the Spider-Man, it still feels 2D animation-ish. Whereas the What If is 3D animation, but they're trying to do that Spider-Man thing. And sometimes it kind of hurts your head because the colors,
Yeah.
yeah, like a
I
light
think I'm going to
spectrum
leave you
kind of
guys to talk cartoons, and I'm going to take a smoke break.
thing.
Well, I will.
And no,
say,
I don't smoke.
I will say this though. I will say this. It did kind of grow on me with Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, Zombies was a good show. It didn't feel as cosmic-y. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they put too much Kirby Crackle in there, and maybe that was the issue, to where like seeing that 3D doesn't translate the same as seeing it on paper. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like I said, like you just said, the Into the Spider-Verse movie, that animation style. But I think what helps me with that is it kind of goes full comic book, where there's certain pages that look like there's certain scenes where they do like a comic book look to it.
Right, or does it have that dot texture to it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just know that it grew on me with, like, we watched season 2 of What If, but it really didn't get like hit with me until Marvel Zombies. And I was like, it's so strange seeing Marvel starting to go into this, we can do R-rated stuff too. Like, and it started with Guardians Volume 3. Guardians Volume 3 was the first Marvel Disney movie with an F-bomb in it.
Open the fucking door.
Yeah, it was just one. And the thing that caught me off guard was it didn't feel forced at all. It felt like an organic thing that Peter Quill would say to somebody. And I was just like, some things that they're doing now is like, damn, y'all could have been doing that the whole time. It would have been fine. My biggest movie that I'm like, this is how it should have been the entire time, was Logan. how Hugh Jackman was Wolverine in Logan is how Logan should have been in all the Fox
Right.
X-Men movies. Like that rage, that swearing, that disregard for life.
Well, and
Like,
his motto alone, I'm good at what I do, even though what I do isn't very nice.
that's right.
Like,
I'm the best at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible. Yeah. So and it sucks that it took Hugh Jackman pushing 60 before we started getting that version. All I got to say is, folks, I hope when I'm 60, I look that freaking jacked as he does. Jesus Christ. A Deadpool and Wolverine movie? My God. That's the most ripped I think I've ever seen that dude ever. But again, I was like, where was this Wolverine in the Fox movies? It's something that always bothered me. You got a dude with unbreakable claws stabbing people, and there's never any blood.
right.
So, there's people that were worried about, Disney owning this stuff. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be Disneyfied. It's going to be all this. Like, this was one of the best freaking Wolverines that wasn't Logan that we've ever seen in the movies. Like, when it comes time to replace Hugh Jackman, I got no thoughts on who it could be. The only thing I want them to try for this time is be a little more comic accurate with the heights. Make him a 5'3" greasy, muscle bound freaking thing.
Somebody you do not underestimate.
Yes. Exactly. Like Ed.
What?
He's calling you short, man.
Yeah.
If I'm short, then he's non-existent.
That's true.
Is that a handicap joke, Jay? How dare you?
Yeah.
What am I short for?
Underestimating.
Oh, I've been underestimated a lot. That's always fun.
Yeah. We were talking about how if they ever decide they're gonna have to eventually recast Hugh Jackman. He can't do this forever, really. I was like,
All right, now I'm gonna go have a smoke break.
Yeah. The only caveat.
Yeah, but you really smoke.
The only caveat I've ever had is I want it to be somebody a little more comic accurate. I want it to
like Danzig.
Maybe.
He's probably too old now, though, just like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that's true. But
I always thought Danzig would be an interesting one if he can act.
Yeah.
Because he looks the part.
He does. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than their actual first choice for Wolverine.
Danny DeVito? Duh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that
Could you imagine we could be living in a world where Nicolas Cage was Superman and Danny DeVito was Wolverine? I think we would still be getting laughed at for reading comics if it had happened.
That's true. I mean, you got the Flash movie where they talk about, Eric Stoltz still being in Back to the Future and all that. Like, there's got to be some world, some universe where what's it? Oh my goodness, I blanked on the name. He ended up being in a Bond movie that was also the choice of Wolverine before Hugh Jackman.
Did he play Bond?
No, he was one of the Bond villains. It's the one where, like, the guy thinks he's killing Ethan Hunt, but it's actually one of his bodyguards or something in the mask. I can't remember No, that's Mission Impossible. Sorry, Mission Impossible.
I was going to say, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, well, much like you, when I think about too many things at once, they just kind of all blend in.
Oh, hey, I can relate to that.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to look this up now because it's gonna bother me.
I'll entertain. We are the Ewoks, and we're one big happy family. Stupidest cartoon ever on a Saturday.
Come on. What was Who was it? Doug Ray Scott.
Don't know who that is.
He was Sean Ambrose in Mission Impossible 2.
Never watched it. You're going to have to put up a picture. I'm never going to know it. So we can do it later. You don't have to do it right now.
Okay. But basically, there was a scheduling conflict, and then he had a motorcycle accident, so he had to drop out. But he was actually Wolverine, and then an unknown Hugh Jackman got it.
I'm a horrible person.
What?
I'm just a horrible person. You said motorcycle accident, and my first thought was, yeah, after the accident, they should have had Gary Busey play Two-Face, but that's just terrible.
Oh, goodness.
That's a terrible thing to say. But that's what I think of whenever I see him now.
Gary Busey, poor guy.
I know. I love him in Silver Bullet.
Oh.
I love him in Under Siege.
For me, Point Break. I really like him in Point Break.
He was in Point Break?
Yeah, he was Utah's partner.
God, I don't remember that.
And Rookie of the Year. I liked him in Rookie of the Year too. You gotta do the have to.
Lethal Weapon. Liked him in Lethal Weapon.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
You see Pet Judge. Oh, that's awesome. Until he went up to smoke, I was just gonna have Nope go on a little while about Star Wars cartoons, man. I was like, Nope's usually here. He kind of puts his 2 cents in and then just sits back and listens. I was like, come on, man, I want to give you the spotlight. Talk about some Star Wars cartoons.
He's the man to talk Star Wars cartoons with.
Especially because I don't know anything. Because I wanted to also ask him, because he's in the chat at least. Did Sam Witwer voice any characters in those cartoons?
64.
Because Sam Witwer was the voice of Starkiller in the Force Unleashed games. I love those games. The Force Unleashed video games are so much fun. But he voiced Starkiller and he voiced the Emperor.
I can do another Star Wars joke.
Yeah.
Why do they call Darth Vader Lord Vader? Because when they called him Master Vader, the stormtroopers all giggled. You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. So,
why did Anakin cross the road? To get to the darker side.
Take the high ground.
You're the chosen one.
Look,
that Henri bit it still kills me whenever he does that. You're supposed to be the chosen one.
Yes. I'll tell you what, man. That trilogy gets a lot of crap, but I really like Revenge of the Sith. I really do. I don't know what it is.
The third one?
Yeah.
I liked it until that was that should have been edited out and never allowed to be played. But
no. He's also one of the Inquisitors in the Ahsoka show. Okay. Yeah, Sam Witwer. Whitmer does Maul in all the shows. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so he does the Emperor in that one too. Okay. Like, folks, if there's a video game...
Oh, I got some bad news for you too.
What?
That Waiki Takiga or whatever the hell,
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's making a new Dread movie, but he's not going to include Urban.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Urban's always going to be Judge Dredd for me now. He nailed it.
Yep. And somebody should have struck while the iron was hot on that one. Oh,
and to be honest, I don't think that Tonka White Kiki or whatever the hell his name is that great anyway. What's his name? Taika Waititi.
Sure.
Taika Waititi?
Titi.
Is that really what?
Titi.
Taika
Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Oh, my Lord.
For me at least, the best thing he's ever done was What We Do in the Shadows.
Never heard of it.
But the show What We Do in the Shadows is one of the first instances I've ever seen where a show is better than the movie. It's a camera crew following around vampires. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Like it's got.
Is that an Ed vampire movie or is it a Twinkle Sparkle?
No, not Twinkle
movie?
Sparkle. It's comedy, but it's also horror.
Well, that's okay. I can do that.
Yeah, I think you'd like it, but I really think you'd like the show What We Do in the Shadows. Like Jermaine Clement. No, not Jermaine Clement. There's Matt Berry. Oh my goodness, I forgot most of the freaking people in the cast, but Matt Berry's in it. I love Matt Berry. He's from Tucson, Arizona.
I don't know him by name.
But
anyway, the dread thing came right from Urban's mouth, so you can trust it.
Okay, he's in the movie. That's why. I heard that they were doing that. I heard that they were going to do Mega City 1, a series. And again, I'm kind of with you. I was like, y'all had someone who, and I can go on and say it. I ain't ashamed. I'm secure with who I am. Carl Urban's a good-looking dude. And the fact that he kept that helmet on the entire time, and he wasn't like, I'm too pretty, let me show my face.
Yep.
That to me is just like, why didn't y'all fight to keep that? Why didn't y'all try? Because you're not going to find very many stars out there that'll be like, well, I have to show my face. You won't find many that are going to be like, no, I'll wear whatever you want me to the entire time. They don't have to see my face.
That was the one thing I hated about the Spider-Man movies. Is he showed everybody.
So yeah, he takes
the stupid train. Everybody on it. We won't tell. I promise. Oh, shut up, kid.
That's what I want them to do. You know, if we're getting Tom Holland's 6 different, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Carl does wear a lot helmets in a lot of his roles. If we're getting 6 or 8 or however many Spider-Man movies we're going to get, I just realized the other day that Civil War is 10 years old now.
Yep.
Holland was only 19 when he played Spider-Man. It's crazy. Yep. I think that's the youngest Spider-Man we've ever had.
And it was perfect.
Yeah. Do one movie where he doesn't take, unless he's Peter Parker or he's at the process of like changing, you want to show him take the thing off? Yeah. But when people around, it's just he takes it off. He takes it off way too much. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's pretty much been.
Well, I thought Tobey Maguire was the worst one at that.
Well, he
took his mask off for everybody.
He was for me until at least the last movie. Because the last movie, it felt like every 2 seconds he had that mask off.
In front of people?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, for Toby, it was the one time on the train. Like, I get that. And how they did that, though, I also kind of understood. Because the thing had hit him in the face, and the eye stuff was, like, messing with his vision.
But it didn't have to hit him in the face.
Well, it didn't have to, but at least it wasn't just like, there's nothing wrong with the mask, and he's just like, oh, I need to take the mask off so I can see better. At least they made some kind of damage to where taking the mask off felt at least a little natural and not just, let me take it
off for Doc Ock. Spider-Man would never take his mask off for Doc Ock. Come on. I don't know. And then even in the fight scene with the Green Goblin, his mask had to be all torn, so all it was a stripe so you could see his face. It's like, come on already. This is supposed to be the Spider-Man movie, not the frickin' Peter Parker movie.
That's true, but I've also, you know, it's like the cartoons. What fabric does he make that costume out of?
The same fabric Superman makes his out of.
It's not Kryptonian.
Neither Superman's. His mom made it for him.
Had it stuff from his ship originally.
Okay, so it's indestructible, but needle and thread has no problem.
Comic books, man.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's your
thing. Put
thing.
too much logic into comic books.
Well, there's your answer to Spider-Man's suit.
So there's your answer to him taking his mask off all the time.
No,
Yeah, see,
they don't ever do that in comics. You show me a comic where Spider-Man takes his mask off in public. I defy you to. You ain't gonna find one because I've read them all. He took it off one time, and it was for a little boy dying of leukemia. That's it.
No, there's one more time.
Well, when it got taken off.
No,
yeah.
No, there's one more time.
For Mary Jane.
Nope. So there's another one. It's a big one. You make fun of Jenna for it all the time. So Peter Parker was the first one to announce his secret identity in Civil War.
Yeah, he was.
So,
but that wasn't a Spider-Man comic.
There's one though.
But that wasn't a
Spider-Man is still part of that world though.
It's a Spider-Man comic.
Oh god.
Oh my god, you said world. Thank you.
I did.
Thank you. Thank you. I acknowledge it.
Yeah, I just want one Spider-Man movie, like you said, just like with Dredd. Put a hero in the costume, leave him in the costume.
Right.
Like, you could make a whole movie about one day. You know, usually people that you fit weeks and years, whatever, in a movie. Just make it about a day where they just don't take the costume off. They're in the costume because they have to be. Just one. Like, well, people got to see it.
No. And I hate to say this. I don't want to talk bad about Tyler Hoechlin. But even after the entire world knew who he was, he still wore his glasses at home. I'm like, why are you still wearing the glasses? Why? Why are you wearing the glasses? You told the whole world.
He did leave him on the sink for that interview, though.
Right. But then he's wearing it at home again. I'm like, dude, you don't have bad eyes. What are you doing?
It's true. Sometimes I think, though, for that, and it's a Superman shill excuse. I'll give everyone this before I say it. Maybe it's just habit. He'd been wearing them for so damn long. It's like, trust me, when I started wearing contacts, I was constantly trying to fix my glasses that weren't there. So I don't wear contacts. Again, just like my hair, I'm too lazy. Plus, they just dry out my eyes too much. So I just leave them be. So now that we've gone all around the world with the show, let's get into some of the comics we read. Because Ed must have just decided today was the day.
It just felt, I had the house to myself. It was quiet. And once I started, I'm like, oh my God, this reminds me of when life didn't suck. And I just kept on trucking.
Yeah. I love having days like this. There are some days I read my one comic just to have my New Year's resolution that I'm going to make it till next year, reading at least a comic a day. And there's some days I find a comic and I'm just like, I got to read every single issue now. And then I'm like, well, I'm done with it because it was a mini series. I was like, okay, so I got to go find something else. I have days where I just sit and do nothing but read. I love those days.
I haven't had one of those days in so long. It just felt so good today.
I don't think about work. I don't think about doing any videos for the channel. I just think about reading. Like, very few and far between with how busy I am. But hopefully I'm getting back to...
If we're shifting to comics, I'm probably going to shut my camera off so I can read my notes because my eyes are getting really bad.
That's okay. The way I have these things set up, too, is the thing is the whole screen.
Right. That's what I've noticed that. So,
yeah. So I'm going to start us off here. I also have my own notes. So this one is the previous issue. We find out about King Shazam. Learn a little bit about his story. But King Shazam has been released. And wow, y'all, this arc is going to be wild.
Okay, I'm not a DC guy. Who is King Shazam?
Okay, so this is an absolute title. So basically,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's a new Shazam.
Not exactly new.
Okay.
So they introduced him in issue 18, but in this issue, we really see what Teth Adam is all about. It's not Black Adam, it's Shazam. So it's technically, okay, rewind a little bit. So it's Black Adam, but here he's not called Black Adam. He's called King Shazam.
Oh, so it's a new name for Black Adam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
by the way, did you notice my George Reeve icon?
I sure did. I loved it. So we find out what this dude is about because he takes out a character that has been in this series for some time now. I want to say since the first or second issue, and takes them out in just one of the most brutal ways that I've seen a cape used. Because if for those that don't know, the capes for Superman, or the cape for Superman, was a sentient dust of Krypton. Well, Black Adam, or King Shazam, has the same thing. He got his stuff from brainiacs that arrived in Egypt 3,000 years ago. So he made this wish. He's basically, there was no wizard in this. He was taken by a ship full of brainiacs, and they turned him into this. So here, he thinks he has the same kind of cape, where it's like this, some kind of sentient dust. But he takes this character out, and I'm talking about, y'all, these books are getting... There was a Brainiac one 2 or 3 issues ago where he basically massacres Lex Luthor's family in front of him, where there's just body parts laying around him. This is the same thing. He rips this person to pieces. And it's brutal, y'all. It's really brutal. But, him looking at Superman, though, he's thinking the Brainiacs did this to him. He doesn't realize that Superman's an alien. Of course, Superman doesn't outright say it, but he's just thinking that this dude's a knockoff. So, you most people will know this. Maybe you don't. There's a couple of things that Superman is powerless against, and one of them is magic. So I don't necessarily think, though, that because it's the Brainiacs that gave it to him, I don't know if there's something else involved, because we haven't dove that deep into the character to see if it was just stuff Brainiacs gave him, or if there was some kind of magical element to it. So I don't know 100%. All I know is this dude's strong, and he bitch slaps Superman like 11,000 miles away. It's very crazy. It's an awesome fight. But Superman, being Superman, was trying to talk to him. The dude has been trapped for like 3,000 years. And, Superman's trying to talk to him, but it's not working. So we also get a bit more of Absolute Steel, who we saw a little bit in the previous issue. John Henry Irons, who is a character out of all of the characters that came out of the reign of Superman after Death of Superman. He's always been my favorite. Yes, even above Eradicator and Superboy. John Henry Irons has always been one of my favorites. And I think he was played to absolute perfection on Superman and Lois by Wale Parks. Like, that dude as John Henry, I loved what he brought to that character. One of the best, because the only other time we got John Henry Irons in live action. That movie doesn't exist in my headcanon, but Wale Parks, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't exactly know how to pronounce his first name, but I thought he was fantastic in Superman and Lois. So yet another reason to check that show out. Getting back to this issue, though, I don't really have a ton more to say. This is the only absolute series I'm caught up on. And it's a new take on the characters. And I'm very excited to see where issue 20 takes us. Like, this issue right here shows why Superman is like remains the heart of DC no matter what world, universe, galaxy, whatever you put him in. For me, that shows you why he's DC's heart. And even as this, if it's magic, if they're gods, whatever is unraveling, Clark still leads with empathy. He still has clarity. He still has his conviction. And this issue right here for me, it sets up a larger arc while still really keeping a tight focus of Superman, who he is at his core. And that's a hero who listens first and acts with purpose. This is, again, being a Superman shill, though, and being the one that I'm most caught up on, this is my favorite Absolute title. I know that the Absolute titles kind of range in motion with a lot of folks. For me, Absolute Superman is just Superman goodness, just with a little bit of difference to it. So I really enjoy this series. All right.
Is that your favorite of the Absolutes?
Yeah, it is so far. I know we still got a couple we're getting.
Excommunicated by Vault. Very original storyline here. And as long as it doesn't get sacrilegious, I'm going to stay on board and see where it goes. So this story centers around, what was her name? Josephine. Sister Josephine. She was like a very devout nun, was very loyal to her religion and to being a nun. And this demon called Edimu, or I don't know if that's how you say it, but I say Edimu because it's Edimmu. So Edimu works for me. And he's like this really grotesque but very powerful demon. And during an exorcism that goes way wrong, both Sister Josephine and the demon get excommunicated from the church and is banished even by hell itself. So the demon can't even go back to hell. So she's banished from the church and the demon is banished from hell. So the two begin working together in a very tense and like uneasy alliance to try to figure out what's going on. And together they uncover this horrific conspiracy that goes far beyond their own personal fates. And it's one that threatens the balance between heaven, hell, and humanity itself. So it's like impacting everything. And as they dig deeper, they encounter like hidden cults with like forbidden interpretations of scripture that kind of warp what the Bible is saying into what they want it to say, which, that's not, unheard of in even real world.
Yeah.
But it challenges everything that they thought they knew about what good and evil and what divine is. And it really got me hooked. I'm like, this is new. This is different. And as long as it doesn't get down to where her and the demon start banging or something like that, I'll stick on board. But if they start having the nun banging the demon or something like that, I'm going to jump off.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed
none
this
of
book.
that.
I really enjoyed this book.
Good.
It's a different twist on horror, and I dug it.
Very nice.
And I like the art too.
Awesome. I was gonna read this one today, and I tried to read something else. And
I think you'll dig it.
I'm sure it's Vault. Like, my favorite series from Vault, though, is Barbaric, but I love a lot of Vault stuff.
Right.
I think Vault is also the company that did the Nottingham. I think it was either Mad Cave or Vault. I can't remember now.
I don't remember.
But very cool. It's definitely on my list to read. All right, so next. Oh my goodness, y'all. Did this one live up to the hype for me? 100% yes. Holy crap. It's a very quick first issue, though. You know, we open with Ralph being dropped off by the aliens like 43 years after the series, like the show. And, you know, he's
Did you
there.
just say dropped off from the aliens?
Yeah,
So he's been with the aliens?
I'm guessing that's how they're making it sound.
See, I still don't have this one, so I haven't got to read it.
Oh man. He's there once again to save the world, which of course he's told through a car radio, as the aliens did in the show a few times. That's how they talk to him.
Right.
We then go to a father and like a 9-year-old daughter. They're like kind of a con team. They buy old junk and they make up stories to sell the items at like the flea market at ridiculous prices. Like one of the things was, this is Tiger Woods Club, and a dude was like, this was made before Tiger was born. And he goes, and the guy's like, well, that's why I can't sell it for cheap. Or this is the coffee mug that Marilyn Monroe took her last drink out of before she died, but the mug says "World's Best Dad." Like it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. But he's also a bookie. Like that's just a little thing that I decided to throw in there. I was like, it's not super important, maybe yet, but it's just the dude's a con man and he's a bookie. And his next interaction is with none other than Ralph. Can anyone guess where this is going? Anyone at all? It's Kevin. And if you don't know who Kevin is Ralph's son. Kevin has not seen his dad in like 43 years or something close to it. Because I think, well, Kevin might be in his late 40s. They didn't really give an age for him, but so the emotional core of this issue is Ralph's attempt to reconnect with his son and his granddaughter that of course he never knew that he had. And his son only knows him as the crazy man in the red pajamas. His mother's told him stories about his father, you know, had the FBI looking for him, and Ralph's like, no, I worked with the FBI. And Kevin's like, yeah, Mom said that you would say that, but you've been locked in the nut house for all this time. After you walked out on us. And Ralph's like, that's not even close to what happened. So this relationship between them, the strained relationship, is kind of like the driving point of the story. Like Ralph wants to explain who he really is, what the suit meant, and why he made the choices he did. And this premise, you know, it's tropey. We've seen it a million times, but it's a father-son dynamic to kind of ground the superhero premise a little bit into something, you know, relatable. So, of course,
did he not age while he was with the aliens?
He did.
Oh, so he's old in this book?
He's old.
Okay.
So the problem is he still has trouble with the suit. He had gotten the instruction manual, lost it. The aliens later in the series returned and gave him another one, which when he had a power where he learned how to shrink, he shrunk down with the book and then lost the book again. So he still doesn't have the instruction manual for this damn suit.
He's been with them 40 years and they couldn't teach him how to use a damn suit?
Exactly. Wow. So the problem that he has with the suit, they're still prevalent. But in the end, he finally proves to his son he wasn't crazy. And he does this by an act of like pure heroics and going to save his granddaughter from a runaway truck or something. and there's a nice like page where we see a younger Ralph. Now I don't know because the daughter says that, did you see how young he looked? So I don't think it was just he looked younger to us on the page for that panel, but it was a really nice panel. Like it looked like William Cat. Like it was very nice. So you see that when he gets the powers to work, but it's only the panel. It was still really cool to see. But something happens once he uses the powers that will be very interesting to see how the writers deal with it. At the same time, though, the issue also sets up there's like this 7-day countdown. Like Ralph, it feels like Ralph is on one last mission that will require the suit, courage, and possibly a sacrifice he's been avoiding for years. I had a ton of fun with this one. It could be a nostalgia thing. It could be whatever. But I was so excited for this one, and it definitely lived up to my hype. The art takes a little getting used to. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not a style that I think I would have gone with when they did this. But
oh, that has me worried.
No, like I said, it's just I'll have to show you some pages.
Okay, fair enough.
I have to show you some pages, and by saying show you some pages, and you're good, you can leave your stuff off. Give me a second. Since I got the book right here, I'm gonna show you what I mean. Wait, nope, just like what? What's happening?
He got busted. He's picking his nose. I saw it.
Like it's not bad at all. Like that's not what I mean. It's just it's an
all right.
Yeah, it's just an interesting art style that I think maybe
Oh,
I
no.
got.
Is that William Cat with the white hair?
Yeah,
I feel old already.
I think I got a little too fixated on it being a David Mack cover. I think I expected the art on the inside to look like this.
Yeah.
Like I said, the art's not bad at all. That's not what I'm saying. It's just a style that I just wasn't expecting them to go with. But I like it. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not bad by any means. But I mean, as somebody who was a fan of the show as a kid and still as an adult, this was great. I can't wait till this thing starts the series. I am still, for the life of me, trying to get a Raglan t-shirt, which there's Raglans and Ringers. The Ringers have the arm cuffs and the neck cuffs are different colors than the shirt. Raglan tee kind of looks like a baseball tee where it's got different colored sleeves from the shirt. I want to get one of the Greatest American Hero. The fact that I don't have a Greatest American Hero shirt has always bothered me. And I don't know why I don't have one. Seeing Sheldon on Big Bang Theory wear them all the time always made me jealous. But eventually I'm gonna get one. But folks, do yourself a favor. If you've never watched Greatest American Hero, if you got Amazon Prime, I think it's still on there. Might be on Tubi. Is it a great show? No, not at all.
It was when I was 6.
Is it a fun show, though? Yes. It's very fun. The comic is going to be great. Thank you, AMP, for taking a chance with this. I cannot wait to see what other adventures we have with Ralph in that suit. It's going to be crazy. And wait till you find out, if you are fans of the show, what Pam has been doing this whole time. Remember his girlfriend Pam from the show? Yep. So very cool, highly suggested. Glad I was able to pick this one up.
Yeah, rub it in. All right, now there is a story behind this. Because this is not by any means a new book. So is it okay if I can mention CBSN, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching CBSN last night, Flames of the Phoenix. They're on every Friday night at 10 p.m. It's a sales show. And they've kind of become my LCS because I've gotten a really good relationship with Michael and his wife Paula, and we've kind of become really good friends. I help them with weather stuff when it happens, and they call or send me a chat just to say hey. So anyway, we have a relationship. And I have him on in the background while I don't even remember what I was doing. I was doing something else. And as he's talking, I thought I heard him say, forces Superman to do a porn movie. And I'm like, what? And I go back to the window and I type, did I hear you right? Did you just say Superman does of course, I put prawn movie? And he's like, yes, Eddie, you heard me right. I'm like, okay, what is this? And he gave me the numbers. He's like, it's a 2-issue run by Byrne, and I immediately had to find this, and I was able to find it, and I read it, and I was like, well, son of a bitch. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I'm kind of glad that happened because I got introduced to new characters that I've heard you guys talk about, but I never knew who they were. Big Barda is like a main part of this, and Mr. Miracle is a main part of this. And basically, just to cut to it, there's this villain named Sleaze, or they called him Crime Lord Sleaze, or just Sleaze, or something like that. And he breaks into the New Gods embassy and he steals Big Barda's Mega Rod, which I didn't know anything about until I learned later on what it was about. And he's like using that to control her and cause chaos. Well, make a long story short, he ends up controlling Superman too. And his plan is to force Barda and Superman into starring in a pornographic film for the Sleazy Gross Man Pictures production, which I thought that name was just brilliant. To exploit their power and their image for profit. And Jay, just for you, there's even some tentacles in this. Yeah. So this is your dig. So anyways, so Clark's it goes on, and of course they break the spell, and what's his face? Wow, Mr. Miracle was freaking out because Superman's kissing his woman, because I didn't know they were a couple until I read this. And they don't do it, but they do end up on the bed making out before they break the spell. And in the end, all is well. But this just blew my mind that they did an issue of Superman trying to be mind controlled into doing a porno movie. Like, how in the hell did that make it into a comic way back then? Because this was number 592 and 3. And I think it ended at like 900 or something. And that was quite a few years ago. So I'm not sure what year this came out, but
7.
That just blew my mind. And as soon as he said that, I had to find it and read it. And it's a good story. And like I said, I got to learn about Big Barda and I got to learn about Mr. Miracle. Did you know about the Sleaze dude? Is he a well-known thing, or is he just a
that part I didn't know about. I knew of this story from this cover.
That little creepy dude in that previous cover, that's the Sleaze.
Yeah.
And he's the president of Sleazy's Gross Man Pictures, which I think I love that name. I don't know why. It just speaks to me out of the stupidity. But anyway, in the end, Barda, gets her Mega Rod back, which don't get me started on Mega Rod, but we'll just leave that be. And all is well. But holy crap, if you want to read a fun Superman story that you never thought you'd see, this was one for me, because I did not know that Superman almost became Holmes, man. So
yeah, it's been a while since I've read this one. But it's so strange to me, Superman having so many, you said it yourself, it was like 900 issues of this one.
Right.
Some of these self-contained 2 and 3 issue arcs that they had in them, maybe not exactly this one, like Action Comics, but I know there's Can't remember which one Cat Grant's Revenge is in. That's one of my favorite Superman stories in that's like a 2 or 3 issue. That in Racist Ass Bloodsport. That's another one of my favorite.
That's the
little
name of
mini-
it. Racist ass.
No, I just call him Racist Ass Bloodsport because he's the Bloodsport that's super racist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. I need to revisit this one though because I remember the story was really good.
Oh, and it was so cool to read an old time comic again, because there used to be so much more wording and storytelling in the older comics. Whereas now it seems like you get more pictures than words. They still work most of the time, but it was fun to read an old, 75 center.
Yeah, I read a month or two back. I read issue 1 of Dead Man,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I forgot that I forgot wording and stuff that they used to do in these comics, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of words on this page, but it doesn't overtake anything.
Right.
I forgot they used to expect you to read these things.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you can't get through a comic from the 70s in 10 minutes like you can in comics today.
Oh, you really got to read. You really got to read. The only thing
And
that's
if
gonna
you
hold-
skip a panel, you could get lost. So
Yeah.
you
It's
got to
an
read it.
investment catching up with them.
Exactly. It's kind of like today's comics. If you're spending more time on it, it's just because the art's that good.
Yep.
That's usually what it is. So this next one, talked about it a little bit earlier. Ben 10. I never watched the show. I knew the basic premise of this.
He's the Mandarin, right? He's got the 10 rings.
Yeah. Yeah, something. So yeah, this is like it's a kid on a road trip with his grandfather Max and his cousin Gwen. And Grandpa Max is kind of like trying to limit their screen time, trying to make it, a family thing. He told both their parents, I was going to take care of y'all this summer and we were going to see the world outside the screen. From space, there's a meteor comes down. And there's governments tracking it and some other aliens are tracking it because we start the book out in space, as you do. Something happens at the camp. Ben gets upset with his grandpa and his cousin and decides he's going to take a walk. And much like most books, again, it's a little tropey. Thing falling to earth, kid by himself. Instead of being like, let me go back to my grandpa and be like, hey, something fell from the sky. I'm going to go check it out myself. And when he does, this weird, it looks like almost like venom. It's almost got that kind of consistency to it, like the symbiote. Wraps around his hand, forms this watch called the Omnitrix. Now this is just the first issue, so it's not overly wild with explaining what's going on. But yeah, so this thing bonds to him, and the government ends up showing up. These soldiers end up showing up. So Ben's hiding, and I don't know where this thing comes from, but there's like this huge half mechanical bear, and it starts chasing Ben. Yeah, I don't know. I might have missed the part where the bear comes in. I just know it's there. I don't know if maybe something from the meteor did something to it.
And you said the symbiote became a ring?
No, it's a watch.
Oh, watch.
Like it looks. It's not a symbiote was the best way I can explain it because it's not solid.
Okay.
It wasn't solid till it wrapped around him and turned into the watch on his arm. But he's running from this bear, and the watch starts blinking, and the bear's coming down on him, and for whatever reason, Ben's trying to swat it away. He ends up hitting the top of that watch, which turns into a character called Forearms, which when you see the cartoon, when you see the other covers to this, you can tell which one Forearms is. They all have the same. They all have names. Like I said, I know a little bit about the cartoon. Like Grandpa Max was a plumber. Now, plumber in this show, the plumbers are a secret society. So I'll leave that there. It's not just a regular plumber. So Grandpa has some tech. I don't know if they're going to go that way with this story in particular, but so you have Ben turn into one of these aliens, and that's the thing about the watch. The watch has this setting on it to where you turn it, and it's 10 different aliens he can turn into. He doesn't know that part yet, but for some reason, the forearms part, it only lasts for not even 3 or 4 minutes, and he changes back, and he's still being chased by this bear. So then he hits it again, and he turns into this another character called, I think it's Heatwave. It's like a character that's on full fire. But he gets away. Now I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much of this for anybody. This was more than nostalgia bait, and I can tell you that because I don't have any nostalgia towards this. It is on Tubi. I do want to start watching it. I think the coolest part about this book is the creators of the series are also writing the book. I didn't know that Joe Casey and some of those guys were Man of Action, which Man of Action did a lot of cartoons and stuff back when I was a kid. I didn't realize that Joe Casey was a part of that, and the people in the book were a part of that. So the fact that they have creators of the cartoon working on the comic gives me a lot of hope. Now they've called it, and this is going to be a term that gets used for a lot of things now just because of what it is. They basically say this is like absolute Ben 10. A little more mature, maybe a little more violent, but still has the feeling of the show at the same time. So, if you ever wanted a superhero origin that balances like wonder with real emotional stakes, Ben 10 kind of hits that sweet spot. Like it's a modern retelling that keeps the heart of the franchise from what I've seen online from other people. And they're giving these characters a little more depth than I want to say than the cartoon, only because they're trying to make it a little bit. It's not hard R or anything by any means, folks, but a little more adult with the themes, I guess, is the best way to say it. But they're giving Ben, Gwen, and Max, Grandpa Max, more depth, and the Omnitrix has always been like a cool little thing. Like I said, I know a little bit about this show, having not watched it, but again, for somebody, this is like Space Ghost to me. I told that story a lot. I knew nothing of Space Ghost. For some reason, that was the one Hanna-Barbera cartoon I'd never heard of. I didn't watch Coast to Coast, but that's the only reason I knew about Space Ghost was because of that show. I never watched it, but the comic itself made me a fan of the character. And I think this one so far is going to do the same thing. It's a very solid first opening issue. If they keep going this way, this is going to be one of those books, folks, you need to check out. Even if you've never watched the show, it still has something for you. And if you love the show, for fans of the cartoon, you're going to recognize the core ingredients, basically. It's just, people have said that the tone is sharper, the pacing feels a little bit more cinematic, and, there's a little more drama to it. And these are kind of like things I've heard people on both sides say. For folks that are new, you don't need any prior knowledge because the comic itself, this opening issue basically tells you the story. Like I was not lost one bit, even not knowing very much about it. I wasn't lost at all. It's going to introduce you to the characters, the device, what the stakes are. So to me, it's a perfect entry point into this. I know that there's been 10 comics before, but Dynamite's done something really great with this. And like I said, the show's on Tubi. I'm going to start watching it just from the comic alone. So,
you called it a trope that he went and checked it out by himself instead of telling his grandpa.
Mhm.
But as a Gen Xer, to me, that was just life. I mean, we never had anybody home to go. If something would have fell out of the sky, I'd have went and checked it out.
Oh yeah, same, very much same. But we're kind of tropey in that aspect, though.
I guess. Latchkey kid.
Yep, 100%. I
Yep.
didn't have anybody watching me.
Same.
All trying to find our own Goonies adventure.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. But honestly, like, it's a kid on a road trip with his grandpa and his cousin, and an alien device basically gives him superpowers. Each one of the aliens has their own power that they have. So I'm really interested. I've looked up some of the other aliens. I can't wait to see them.
So when he turns into these other aliens, does he become the other alien, or is he still him mentally and just looks and acts like the other alien?
Yeah, it's still him.
So he can control it. It's not
Yes.
like he becomes this alien thing.
It's not like a Hulk situation.
So it's like a Wonder Twin forms, bam, and
Yeah.
then this. Okay.
Yeah, like they're all him. He just has 10 to choose from. They showed us 2. I think because there's a couple of different series of the cartoon, and then there's even some live action movies. I think there's other aliens that get introduced later, but he can only have 10 at a time. There's another character later on. I made the joke about Kevin 11. There's actually a Kevin 11 apparently in this series somewhere. So this is one of those books when I heard it was sold out and it's going back to second print on the first day. After reading it, I understand why. There's a big fan base for this. A lot of people were excited, and honestly, it holds up. So definitely one to keep your eye on, folks.
I've never even heard of this one before this book.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not, definitely not an Ed book, but maybe an enjoyable read for Ed.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got. There we go.
I don't even really know where to begin on this one. This was very disappointing to me because it had nothing to do with the monster storyline. It didn't introduce anything new into the monster storyline. There wasn't any new story with it. But then on the other hand, it was kind of cool because it starts out basically showing you how he does his art style and how he renders these 3D images for his art and how he layers it and how he paints it. And he goes through the whole process of it. And then there's like this section that's a Q&A kind of thing that goes on for quite a few pages where fans were asking him questions and some people asking questions at cons, and he like put the con questions out there and gave his answers. So this was more like a magazine than a comic, and it was kind of like the how I do this, how I do that kind of thing. And the new character that they said that they were going to expose you to is just he drew it with pencil and has like skull face and starburst and glowing energy and all that, but there's no story involved. Okay. Then it shows a bunch of the different covers that there's been for Mark Spears. It shows some of the covers that are coming up. And then there's another Q&A about spin-offs where people have asked about, how do you love working, with Spawn or Superman? Could any of that, blah, 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 all kinds of different questions. And they start going off about that Midnight Man comic that I reviewed a few weeks back. That I said, why did you do this? But he did it by introducing a superhero into the monster world that he was creating. And then you get more covers, one of which you would love because it's a Jaws homage of the shark coming up to eat someone.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then, for no reason other than they can, we start going on these weird, trippy little like comic strip stories that look like cartoons that you would see on like Cartoon Network back in the 90s, that kind of drawing style. And it really has nothing to do with anything other than they wanted to throw some stories out there. One of them that got my attention was it had a lot of the Universal monsters in them, but they weren't called that. Like Frankenstein's monster was called Animated Man and stuff like that. And it was about this kid that's delivering pizzas, and he sees these people in the pizzeria, and they hint that at one point in time they used to be part of like a superhero team of monsters, but they don't tell you the name or anything. And then it just kind of ends. So I don't know if he's going to start writing about this team of monsters with this kid, or if this was just something that they wanted to throw into a book. And then they went to a new book that he's got coming out called The Maid Cafe, but the whole thing's in black and white. So other than the cover, I have no clue what the panels were. And then it just kind of ended. So it wasn't what I expected. I was hoping to have something, like last year they did the Zero, and it had that clown story that Nope and I have talked about before. That was a really good story, and it's a great place to jump on. And this year it was more like just it was kind of like those old horror mags where it just kind of tells you stuff behind the story kind of stuff. And it was cool and everything. It's just not what I was expecting.
Oh, I got you.
I was upset that I wasted one of my picks on this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, okay.
Yeah, this was the most disappointing one for me out of all of them. And it's just because I had expectations.
Yeah. Like they can't all be greatest American hero like Jay.
Right. It could still be a fun book. I mean,
Yeah.
It was cool seeing that stuff, but that's not what I wanted.
Yeah. And I know we said hello in the chat, but what's up, Phable? Good to see you, boss.
Hey, Phable.
He had a packed live last night. I got to tune in for just a second before the show started. I got to catch Brother Joe's song, and man, he had every space on that thing filled. It was.
I got to catch the last half hour where he showed off all of the stuff that he got for Free Comic Book Day, and he really got some cool collectibles.
Clean
I got
house like you did. Asking if you cleaned the house like Eddie did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got like collectibles and stuff, not just the free book.
I got you.
He got some
in
cool
addition
shit.
To
right.
Yeah,
I think
he
got some cool stuff.
There's an Adam Eve that he got, Adam Eve figure, which reminds me, I need to find it. I got a figure that I won on Whatnot from Garrett that I forgot to have him sign for me, but it's an Omni-Man, special Omni-Man. Oh, so dope. And you got Invincible Versus game. Like he had a lot of cool stuff. I'm gonna find give me just a second. I'm gonna find Fable's Instagram. So follow him. Obviously sub up to him on YouTube. But you need to follow his Instagram too, folks. Let me find it real fast.
Yeah, I'd love to start buying statues and stuff, but I do not have room for them.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't.
I'd have to add a room onto my house.
Yeah. Like all my display area is spoken for already.
And that's one of the reasons it's going to be such a bad idea when I finally get a 3D printer.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah,
Why
that
I
makes
tell
so
you
many
guys like, hey, I made you something. Like, I wanted to make this, but it's not for me. I got to make it, but I ain't got the room for it, so I get to rehome it.
Yeah. All right. So
We're not complaining. Thank you,
no,
sir.
not at all, dude. I freaking love these things, man. These light box. I love these light boxes.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I never made one of those light boxes for myself.
Oh, bro.
Never decided on one.
So last week I talked about how I watched eventually Fable. Trust me, really want to. All of us be on the show with
Absolutely.
you. Be
Yeah.
awesome. So last week I talked about how I finally watched The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. Really, really dug it. Yesterday or today, I can't remember when I texted you, Ed, about it.
I think it was today.
I finished the Long Halloween comic. Now, I can say that I liked the cartoon movie a little bit more. But the book got me because there were some twists in there that got left out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let me fix mine. It's weird when it does that. Higher sound. Oh, hell yeah. Fable. 100%, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Love to do that.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, the twist in this book I didn't see coming. I was like, wait a second. But I said, that didn't happen in the movie. I said, oh, so it's this. And I was like, okay, so that means what happened in the movie isn't what happened in the comic until we get to the end of the comic. And the last page or two, I was like, what? And I mean that in a good way too. I was just like, wait a second. So, okay, this was really good. I'm glad I finished it. I have no idea why it took me so long to read it.
Dude, this story is like 30 years old, but you don't got to worry so much about spoiling it if you want to talk about the twist.
Okay. So in the movie, you find out at the very end that it wasn't Harvey Dent as Holiday. It was his wife.
Yep.
In the movie, his wife was married to or going to marry Alberto Falcone, who was not only killed, but the dude was shot twice, fell off the boat they were on and hit the rotor and was just demolished.
Yeah, it was a little overkill, pun intended.
But reading this, I figured out why they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this one, instead of it being the wife that kills Sal Maroni, it's Alberto.
Yep.
Alberto didn't die because in the book he's only shot. In the comic, he's only shot. So that twist I didn't see coming. I was like, holy crap! So he's Holiday. And then, this is also the story about Harvey becoming Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, when Harvey's like, so I guess there were two holidays. They were like, oh, I said, oh, so there is another one. It's still the wife. It's still Harvey's wife. Well, then Batman says, well, technically, he killed the Roman, which I can't remember Falcone's first name to save my life right now, but killed Falcone on a holiday. So technically, he's still a holiday killer. So I was like, okay. So it's basically Alberto Falcone and Harvey. Well, then we get to the very, very end of the book, and the wife is talking about how it was actually her that started it.
Well,
so I was like, okay, so Alberto's taking the fall for everything. They didn't make any kind of connection between the two of them being married and her being pregnant with Alberto's child before Falcone decided, no, we're not doing this. So it was different enough with an extra twist in there. because, like I said, I wasn't expecting for Alberto to be one of the killers at all, because in the movie he was demolished. There was no way he was surviving that. So, but there's something about the movie though that I like just a little bit more. I will say that they move through some events kind of fast in the movie.
Yeah.
Because in the comic, you know, his nephew is getting married, and it feels like this one just kind of opens up on that kill. They don't really go into too much of it at the beginning. I will say this, and Sean said the same thing when we watched the second part of this. It felt like the second part of the movie was rushed, but still, overall, this excellent book, 100%. I do prefer the movie just a little bit. They made Sophia look almost exactly like she did in the book, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought they might have just done that for the movie. And that's another thing they changed. It was her last name was like Gigante. It's like Sophia Falcone Gigante. But yeah,
So
overall,
which ending did you like better? Did you like it when it was the wife, or did you like it with the twist?
well, since it ended up being the wife anyway in both versions,
Mm-hmm.
I think the added part of Alberto surviving the hit
Mm-hmm.
or faking the hit, whatever he did, and that was kind of my favorite part of the book.
Yeah. See, what gives the cartoon the edge for me is I love the animation, whereas as much as I love the story, the art in the book is just off for me. But I love the story. And the story writing I thought was brilliant. I love how they associate how it starts on Halloween, ends on the next Halloween, and that every holiday in between has an event. I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, this, folks, again, you know, if you're a Batman fan, you've probably already read this. All right. But in the event that you haven't, give it a shot. Because even me explaining it doesn't explain everything.
And even if you're not a Batman fan,
Yeah.
if you're just a fan of Halloween and holidays, I think you'll dig this because they tie something to every holiday.
I thought for sure we were going to have a law-abiding situation. My goodness, hold on, guys. Law-abiding citizen situation. Too much alliteration for my mouth to handle. That's what she said. Yeah, pretty much. With Calendar Man.
Oh, right, right.
I could swear that Calendar Man was somehow getting out of Arkham, committing these murders and getting back in. I was certain of it when I, not only from here but because of the movie. I 100%.
Oh, in the movie, they want you to think that. They try hard to make you think that. For sure. Yep.
And let me see, because I gotta. There's voices I got right off the jump. Jensen Ackles is Batman, great. Troy Baker, I know he sounds almost exactly like Mark Hamill's Joker, but I could tell right off the bat. The first time Joker said anything, I was like, "That's Troy Baker." Also voiced him in the video games. Jack Quaid as Alberto was a nice touch. But David DeSmulchin's Calendar Man is what stole the movie for me. He made Calendar Man creepy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was believing. I was like, this dude's the freaking mastermind. That's what it is. It's this guy. It's got to be this guy. And it had me thinking that the whole movie.
He was kind of like the Hannibal Lecter for this story.
Yep, 100%.
The guy that knew everything about how and why the killings were being done, but wasn't going to tell you. He was just going to give you clues.
Yep.
And yeah, I got the first time I read and watched that, I got that vibe. This was a lot like Silence of the Lamb.
Yeah, it was. And I think one of the funniest parts, I don't know why it was funny to me, was when he and Alberto were kind of having a who knows the most holidays off in their cells across from each other.
Yeah.
I really dug that. But yeah, solid movie, solid book. I can see why people love this story. So yeah, definitely check this one out. What do we got next? Sleepy
My pick
Hollow.
of the week. Oh, I love this. Do you want to talk about it too? You said you read it.
I was just going to go off of what you say.
Oh, okay. This is my pick of the week. If you know me, it probably doesn't surprise you because I've been obsessed with the Headless Horseman since I was a little squeaker. So you write a story about the Headless Horseman and you're gonna get my attention. And they didn't bastardize it or do anything stupid with it. In fact, they surprised me. This is actually a prequel comic to the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow movie. So if you're a fan of what Tim Burton did with Sleepy Hollow,
Love that one.
you got to pick this book up and you got to start reading it because you get to learn about a little girl named Sarah and her sister Mary and how they were raised in the woods by a mother who practiced witchcraft. Does any of this sound familiar? If you're a fan of the movie, remember the girls? And their lives were marked by trauma, and they had like these horrifying, vengeful acts that forced Sarah to confront like her family's dark history or legacy or whatever you want to call it. And even though the Headless Horseman technically isn't in issue 1, you get to see the Hessian get beheaded in issue 1. And
Christopher Walken?
Huh?
Is it Christopher Walken?
No. Oh no! But did you see my joke earlier? You know, what's the opposite of Christopher Reeve? Christopher Walken. We'll leave that. So anyway, Sarah discovers that. Sorry. She discovers that she can actually bind with the Hessian's restless soul to herself, marking the first connection of what will become the Headless Horseman. And then the town like turns against them after their father's death, and Sarah's clinging to magic for protection. And if all this rings a bell, it's because you're a fan of the Tim Burton movie, because it's all building up to it. I thought it was a good story. I love the art. The art inside was brilliant. I thought it was cool that they decided to do this as a prequel to the movie that most people know instead of the Legend of Secret Hollow. Oh my God. Sleepy Hollow. Yeah. But this is my pick of the week. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see issue 2.
Yeah. I really dug this one. And I love, there is a literal panel. Folks, even if you just remember the movie vaguely, there is a panel in here that ties it directly in.
Oh yeah.
To Tim Burton. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, I had the
little girl
in my head.
The snick.
Yep.
Snaps the stick.
Yep.
Snapped the snick.
She snapped a snick. Yep.
Now I'm a few issues behind because there is a Sleepy Hollow that IDW, I think it's only on issue 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah.
So there is a aftermath of the movie, I think is what the Sleepy Hollow, the mainline comic is. And I'm really enjoying that one. The 2 issues that I've read, I really enjoy that one. I need to jump back on it, but I don't have too much to add on to what Ed's saying. Like this was, I mean, again, Greatest American Hero is my pick, but take the nostalgia, take my excitement for that book out of the equation. I was excited for this one as soon as I saw it, that it was going to be coming. I think a week or 2 before it dropped. I saw it. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on one of the shows earlier. So yeah, this definitely lived up to the excitement I had for it as well. I can't wait to see where this one goes. I don't know how long they're going to try to do this one.
I
If
heard
they're
4,
4, and the
but that don't mean anything.
fourth one will probably end where she either meets or marries the Van Tassel that she was married to.
Right.
So yeah, both the Sleepy Hollow books from IDW have been a hit for me. So, folks, if you haven't checked them out, even if you've never watched the movie, which is terrific, like, I love Sleepy Hollow.
Did you dig the art?
Yeah, I really like the art in this one
Yeah,
too.
me too.
But it kind of feels the same as the Sleepy Hollow one that I'm reading, like the other one. So, but yeah, art's been good. The story for both have been great. Yeah, I'm excited to see where we're taking this one. All right. Next one. Okay. I'll talk about this one first, Ed.
All right, go ahead.
So this is a little sampler. And most of these I've read. I gotta say, man, Batwoman. I've never been a big Batwoman fan. I was gonna give this one a shot. I probably still will, because this was just a preview thing. I'm not usually an art person. Like, art's got to be super, super bad for me to not, and the story's got to be bad too. That's the only way that I'm not reading a book. But it was weird to me that I wasn't feeling the art in this until there's a page with Batwoman and Alice fighting. And I was like, why isn't all the art like this page? I didn't understand it. Like, there's a panel, like if you read Batwoman, or if you've gotten this book and you see it, you'll know what I'm saying. Like, the panel with Alice and Batwoman fighting looks like it's from a different book. So I don't know why. Again, I'll read the entire thing, because this was just a couple of pages. I'll read the entire thing just to see how I feel about it. But I don't know. Lobo, Deathstroke, and Firestorm, though, I had already read those, and I love those. I love those books already. Firestorm is great. Freaking Lobo is hilarious, and Deathstroke is just badass. Like, I love those 3 books.
Yep.
Zatanna
The Lobo story was just the Lobo #1 of this new series. The first half of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what it was.
Yep. Now, Zatanna and Barbara Gordon Breakout, they look awesome. Now, I knew about both of these books. I'd already read sample pages of Zatanna, and I know the book's already out. But I was excited when I saw the sample pages for Zatanna in another book that I was reading. She's a character that, I mean, it's Zatanna. I mean, her and Black Canary in a book together would be amazing, but that's another dream I have. Yeah. That's another dream that I have. So I haven't actually read the entire issue yet, but super excited to read Zatanna after reading the little bit that I had. Breakout, I thought it was kind of a strange choice, and this is what I was alluding to earlier when I talked about this. The preview is in black and white, but in the trailer, it looks like the book's going to be color. So I'm not exactly sure, like, what made them go with that choice of making the sample one black and white. I don't know if it was to save on expenses. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But if your book's going to be in color, your sample to hook people should probably be in color too. There are some people that, even if they can see black and white, they're not fans of black and white. It was just a weird thing, just a little weird thing. But for me personally, though, aside from that, it looks really
with
good.
The panels that they went with too, and no dialogue.
Yeah,
like just a lot of odd choices with that one.
Yeah, and see another one though. This is another one though that I had seen. I had some preview pages and something else that I was reading, and that actually got me excited for this one. I love the fact that they're using Supermax as the location. I've talked about this before where we were supposed to get a Green Arrow movie called Supermax uh, years and years ago. I think even before they were going to do Superman Returns, I thought it was going to be Supermax. And they decided not to go with that. And then there were talks of in the DC animated universe, they were going to do a Supermax, like an Elseworld story for it. But nothing ever came of it. I'm hoping one day we get to see it because, it's Oliver Queen in prison with a bunch of Z-list characters helping him escape. I would love to see that. Emerald Archer does not get enough love, in my opinion. Cannot wait. I'm hoping James Gunn puts him on the big screen somehow, some way. I'm really hoping that happens. But outside of that, this was great. This was a great idea to get people who haven't checked out some of the books that are coming out. This should entice at least a couple of them. Probably grab a few folks and be like, okay, now I want to go and get the whole story. And some of these already have 2 issues or 3 issues or whatever. So I think this was a nice little. I mean, it was free. It was a free comic book day book with a bunch of sampling in here. So yeah, I really dug it.
I agree with most everything you said, except you were way too nice on the art with Batwoman. That art sucks. I absolutely hated that art. That art was enough for me to say I will never read that book because I don't understand it because the Lobo art, beautiful, fantastic. The Deathstroke art, beautiful, fantastic. The Firestorm art, awesome, great, perfect, fantastic. And then, what the hell are you doing? Why do they go to that art style? I hate that art style, whatever it's called. I don't know what they call it. I call it garbage. But
do you get what I'm saying though? With those pages, and then you get to that panel of Batwoman and Alice fighting.
Yeah, why couldn't they do the whole thing like that?
Yeah, okay.
Or at least a little more similar to that. Because the rest of it's just terrible. But yeah, everything else, Jay pretty much hit it.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, I love getting these. They're like having a bunch of ash cans in one book.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, my thought on it was, it's kind of weird that they're releasing these after they've already got issue 1s out. But then again, it's also smart. Gives you just a little taste of a lot of these stories that maybe somebody will go back and be like, okay, I definitely got to pick up Lobo. Definitely got to
right. And they don't have to wait a month to forget about it.
Exactly. So yeah. Good idea. I hope to see more of these. I hope to see more of these in the future with Free Comic Book Day and Comic Giveaway Day. Let's see what I got. Okay, this one I did not read. This one is all Ed.
This one was a lot of fun, and it's by the same company that does the Monsters, Keen Spot. It's basically a ton of different cartoon stories that are fun little stories. It starts off with a fun Pooh Bear story, and the art in that is bad, but I think it's on purpose because it's like a kid drew it kind of thing. And it's a cute little Winnie the Pooh and all the little characters that we've known to love with Christopher Robin. And then you get to do a little interview that's called Talking Pooh, which I just, I'm so immature. I will never love that. It just cracked me up. And then they go just batshit crazy with stories. And one of my favorite stories when here was called Hero. And the title of Hero was Hero Gets a Hernia. And I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if this is going to be a new book for us to read because it's only like a 2-page story. But it shows this dude dressed up like a superhero that's going to save the day with this wrecked car. And he goes to lift the car up and he hears something pop and he falls down grabbing his groin and he got a hernia. And another dude that looks like an Elvis superhero offers to fly him to the hospital. And it's just so silly, and that's how it ends. And it's like, okay, was this just like a 2-page Mad Magazine? I'm going to throw this out here just to throw it out there, or is there something coming? And then you jump to another cartoon that has Toucan Sam in it, and I'm not exaggerating when I say Toucan Sam. Looks just like Toucan Sam with all these other goofy little
Follow your
animal,
nose.
animal
Wherever it
dudes
goes.
having like a pirate / spaceship adventure together. It's like a flying spaceship submarine that has a pirate flag on the front. It's just weird. And I think that was called Squish and Squash Save the Universe or something like that. And then we get to have another Pooh adventure advertisement. So I think that's probably going to be the cover. And it's called Tigger's the Only One.
Oh.
And then it
Yeah,
jumps
double
to
check.
this really, really weird, lame ass thing about some girl and boy that I lost interest. And then it goes to something called Grubs. And this one had me cracking up because they're talking about different kind of ice cream toppings. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but what happens is pretty funny. So that one's worth reading. And there's more of these little anthologies. There's just a ton of these little cartoons. And then one that really grabbed me was that they have like Gatlin Middle School, and it's got like Jason Voorhees, and it's got Pinhead, except he's only got like 6 pins because he's young, which cracked me up. And it has the Candyman and the only way you know it's the Candyman is because the bees are flying around him. And they have a little 2-3 page adventure together. It's really short, but it's funny. I can't really say much about it without ruining it. But Mr. Loomis is the counselor, and it ends with Michael going in to see Mr. Loomis. So if you're a Michael Myers fan from Halloween, you'll get that joke. And then it finishes with one that's called Robot Girl. And this looks like it could be interesting, but like I said, I don't know if these are just things they threw in here to throw them in here, or if it's new stuff that's going to be coming out. I think it's new stuff that's going to be coming out. Because on the last page, it kind of shows what I think are going to be the covers for them. And it shows each one of them. Pooh Bear Adventures, Piglet's Bad Day, which I'm going to assume was the first one. Then it's got one that's called Hero. And then it's got Junior High Horrors, which they didn't give that a title. But that's the story with Jason and Michael and Pinhead as high school kids. I'm going to be all over that when it comes out. I mean, this just grabbed me the right way. It wasn't insulting to the lore. It was funny and it was fun. And I can have fun with horror as long as you're not mocking it and making it look too stupid. And then they have one called Kung Fu Lagoon, which I don't know what that's all about. And then they got the Robot Girl. So I think these are going to be new comics that are coming out. And it was a fun read. I'd pick it up and read it and see if any of those upcoming stories would interest you. Because I'm so glad I got it just before the Michael, Jason in high school thing. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
For me, anyways.
Like, I was trying to figure out, because our buddy Dave Lentz was like showing this one off, and I was like, what did he do in that book? And then I just found out he's the letterer for Pooh Bear Adventures.
Oh, okay.
So best letter, in my opinion. Dave is like the best letterer in the biz there. So yeah, I would check that out just for that. Plus, I mean, look, y'all, until I was like 13, I had a Pooh Bear light fixture. Okay, that went over my light switch. That's because I couldn't part with it. I didn't care. My friends were like, dude, you're too old for that. I was like, I don't care, man. It's Winnie the Pooh. Shut up.
Everybody poos. Ba-dum-bum.
That is correct. So let's see. We got this last one.
You want to do this one? Nope, since you read it and haven't got to do any.
Oh, it don't matter.
Go for
I
it, man.
haven't prepared any notes.
Well, I don't either. I didn't do any notes for the free comic book days, but if you don't want to talk about it, I'm just going to wing it. The only notes
Go
I did
for it.
was for the 4. So this one is fun. The art's good. It's going to take you back. You're going to see a lot of characters, you're going to see a couple that I didn't know. But to my knowledge, this is the first time that I ever saw He-Man with Hordak and Skeletor all in the same story. And if I recall, I think Hordak was the main villain for She-Ra, I think. But it's been so long since I saw She-Ra, but I'm pretty sure that's where Hordak came from. But in this one, if I remember correctly, Hordak is Skeletor's uncle or something like that.
Mentor.
I can't remember. Mentor. Okay. Something like I couldn't remember. Like I said, I didn't take notes on the free comic book ones because they were short stories. But yeah, it did its purpose for me because the reason I wanted it was to help me get hyped up for the movie that's coming out. And it did that. And it touched on, it got me, like I said last week, I watched a bunch of the cartoon episodes. And if you like He-Man, you're going to love it. And then there was a second story after, which was about Dungeons and Dragons that I didn't really get into. I just kind of skimmed it because I'm usually not into those kind of comics. Other than I wish they would have done the Dungeons and Dragons Saturday morning cartoon one a little better because I loved that cartoon. But the funniest thing is the reason I got this was the synopsis for it when I was reading it says the worlds of Masters of the Universe and D&D collide as the Masters of the Universe encounter D&D players, and each one of them have to use their special abilities. And that is so not what happens in this book. They're two completely different stories that have nothing to do with each other.
You have no idea whether or not Skeletor, Hordak, and He-Man played Dungeons and Dragons.
That's true. That's true. But it was fun. If you like Masters of the Universe, check it out. And if that's the last one, I just real quick, I want to mention the Garfield book that was free comic book day. If y'all have been watching, you know that I've been picking Baby Garfield as my pick of the week each month it's come out. This Garfield does not disappoint. It's a full comic of Garfield and Odie and lasagna and sarcasm and John and fun, and it's everything Garfield. And then they surprise you at the end by including an intro to Baby Garfield. And they include the story of Baby Garfield's first furball. And that was from the first Baby Garfield comic. So if you're not sure if you want to check out the Baby Garfield comic, grab this free comic book day Garfield and check out the last 3 pages because it's the Baby Garfield story.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, and another thing is Gun Honey. Whoa. Mm-hmm. Just whoa. For a free comic book day free comic book day book, I was not expecting TNA. And there's TNA in that book.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope to goodness kids didn't get this book.
people paying attention to that label, huh?
Well, a lot of people that know comics don't know about the label. So just a regular mom and pa going in there and grabbing books. I was surprised.
I believe so.
What's that?
I have it. Make sure I got it. There's, of course, a couple of books we didn't go through, and that's fine because we can always go through them later. Nothing saying we have to do them right away. Right. I still have Dungeon Crawler Carl, Minotaur.
Yep.
Minotaur.
I got Minotaur, and I got that school bus cemetery graveyard thing, but I didn't get to read those yet. But yeah, I still got books to read also. I also have that The British is Coming, which I'm really curious as to if that's like because I like historical comics, And that's one of the biggest reasons that I got to know Henri is because of his Yisun Shin is historically accurate for the most part with a little embellishment. And I love those kind of stories. So I was a huge Classics Illustrator guy where they took the like history in books and made them into comics. I love those. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Ed, you were not kidding. First page I opened it up to. Boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like,
shocked.
Beers.
I was like, wow, I'm kind of shocked that was just on a table for any kid to grab. I figured the red would be for language and blood or something, not
oh, no.
bazungas and booties.
No, it's I liken it to James Bond with boobs.
Oh, well, dude, like I don't have every Gun Honey series. I meant this Free Comic Book Day issue. I wasn't expecting to be that.
He was not expecting the free boobies.
Right.
Free boobs are best boobs.
Usually got to pay for boobs. Wait, never mind. I didn't say
Gotta pay
that.
for that sort of thing. People just handing it out these days.
All right, so those are the books we read together. Now, there will not be a list book next week. Starting with this show, for anybody watching on the rewind, you'll see me posting stuff about it. I want y'all to help me build the list for the next go round. Folks in the chat, Ed and Nope, if you got any, you got any suggestions, leave them in the description of this video. I'm going to make some posts, and we're going to build the list that way. So for next week, no list book because we're going to be building the list. But speaking of the list, East of West was the last book on the list. Y'all, I never read a synopsis for this book at all. I just saw cowboy on the cover. I was like, you know what? I want to read that. It's plus it's Jonathan Hickman, Nick Dragotta. I'm blown away because this book was definitely something I did not expect. It starts out like we kind of open it up with the four horsemen of the apocalypse being reborn, but there's only three of them. Fourth one's missing. They kind of they're like childlike forms. They're not fully grown or anything. It's like kids, and they're like, well, the fourth one should be here, but they're not. We need to try to get them. Well, they try, can't contact them, can't get them, can't bring them. So they're like, oh, well, we're just gonna have to kill them. They're angry that this fourth one isn't there. Well, apparently he's already active in this world. But before we get to that, it skips to kind of the Old West. A lot of war and stuff going on. These three different prophets of all different nationalities start writing this, basically what feels like a chapter of the Bible called The Message. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we're dealing with, Old West because I'm into Western. So I thought this was what the book was going to be. No. We get a little bit more history. And then the next thing I know, we're brought to this place and I'm looking at it as like, man, that doesn't look like any Western, like old Western I've ever seen. No, because it's like 50 or 60 years in the future of like right now. It's like the year 2048 or something. Like it's some crazy thing. So the book ends up, it's an alternate America that's shattered into multiple nations after some civil war that never actually ended. There's political leaders from all the nations. They're called the Chosen. It's a cabal that manipulates the events. These folks are trying to set off the apocalypse. So, as you can see here, one of the horsemen is already active in the world. They're traveling with two companions named Crow and Wolf, and they're hunting down members of the Chosen that betrayed him. And the motivation is super personal. Um, they don't really tell you what it is in this first issue. I only read 2 issues, but I'm only going to talk about the first one. You can kind of guess. Like, it didn't take me very long to guess which member of the Horsemen this is. He tells this guy at the bar that you see tending the bar on screen, to say his name. So, spoiler alert, it's Death. I mean, it was, when you read it, you'll figure out pretty quick which 4 horsemen it is. So now he's a pale gunslinging figure in white, and he starts on this list to take out these people, the Chosen. Well, at the same time, the other 3 oh my goodness, I lost the freaking word. The other 3 horsemen, there you go. The other 3 horsemen, they're trying to bring on the apocalypse and find him to kill him. There's one scene in here, I'll spoil it. I don't have a picture of it, but they just have these bodies, and it's hundreds of bodies that they've killed, and one of them is still alive, and he kind of wakes up. He's like, "Where's my family?" And they're talking to him, and it's weird, but eerie, but kind of cool all at the same time, because they're basically like, "Well, tell us a joke," and the guy's like, "What?" He goes, "Tell us a joke," and they do this really horrible knock knock joke. When the guy didn't answer, they basically, the 3 of them, stomp his head in. So then they go to the president, or no, the writer goes to the president, Death goes to the president, and basically blows his head off after telling him, "Say my name." So with that, we're supposed to switch to the next person in line. Well, the other horsemen go to that person first. And it's basically, they're picking off these things one by one. These people one by one, the ones that are going to be in line to be president. Ugh, roach drive. Fucking damn. Hold on. Ugh. So you're thinking at first, okay, so they're kind of on the same mission. But that's not what they're doing. They're trying to find somebody super loyal to be the next president, loyal to them, loyal to the message, loyal to bringing the world to an end. They go through so many people. There's a montage. They go through so many people, finally find one, bring them in to see. They're a believer of the message, but they've never actually seen the message. You have to be part of this cabal to see the message. And we don't get to see it, but she does, the person that finally gets picked. So we get through that, and then we go back to the writer and his companions, and they're just going to the next person on the list. And that's where that issue ends. I was not picturing a dystopian alternate American West set in the future when I first saw the cover of this. I just thought it was going to be a straight up Western. So it's a very good blending of the genres. Like I said, I only read the first 2 issues. I had a good time with the book. It's very Again, it's sci-fi, it's western, it's apocalyptic myth. It establishes this world where prophecy, politics, personal vengeance, they all kind of collide. It's very stylish, very violent, and very cryptic. And it definitely has me hooked just by the 2 issues alone. Like like I said, I'm a big fan of westerns, and when you can find a genre to blend with a western to keep me interested, these first 2 issues definitely got me interested. I think Jonathan Hickman is a fantastic writer. Nick Dragotta's art is amazing. This one's a kind of a long one, 45 issues. This came out in 2013. Lo and behold, Jay's reading an older comic, but um, so this was again written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Nick Dragotta. Frank Martin was the colorist. Russ Wooten was the letterer. And my goodness, folks, I know the dystopian thing for a lot of people is kind of played out, and I get that. But for some reason, mixed with this Western, futuristic Western kind of genre that they got going on, I think it works. Uh, Again, solid 2 issues I've read. I'm definitely gonna take some time to go through this one. It's gonna be a little bit of a trek. 'Cause like I said, it's like 30 something issues, but really glad I finally read this one. The very last pick on the book was definitely pick on the book. Pick on the list was surprisingly well so far, and definitely knock on wood for me, folks. So far, every book that has been on the list that I've read has been great, and I want to continue reading it. Like all of them. I'll have a count probably next week of how many I started. I don't know how many issues I've read of them.
Did you say a count? 1,
Ah,
2,
ah.
3.
3. As far as now, I decided to, with these list books, to only read 1 or 2 issues, and that's so when I do my read at least one comic a day, I can add that to my list, which is now at 341 books for the year so far, not including all the ones I messed up and read 18 issues of Paper Girls when I was doing it for the list, so I couldn't add it to my list. If you notice, I started back up with doing my shorts of comics I've been reading so far in my parts. You notice Sacrificers almost had its own, because once I started reading Sacrificers, I was like, okay, so I think 11 issues was in one of the videos. So it was mainly a Sacrificers short, which everyone should be reading that book. It's so freaking good. Pigeon is still my favorite character. I'm wondering how much longer we got to wait for more Bug Wars. I know we're getting more.
Hopefully not too long.
Yeah, I'm going to end up rereading that one again, too. That was there's so much good stuff coming out. I didn't even touch on the fact that, let's see, I had Gun Honey, the Alien, Predator, and Planet of the Apes book, the Sonic Justice League Metal, the House of Slaughter, or not House of Slaughter one, but one of the Slaughter, Something is Killing the Children books. I think there's 1 or 2 more for free comic book day, comic giveaway day. But
wasn't it the Fall of the House of Slaughter or something like that? Like the Fall.
Yes,
of the House
because I was like,
yeah, I almost read that one too. But I ran out of time because I was a reading maniac today. And there was a book that I wanted to read for today that I'll have to do for next week, because I did the first one probably a month ago. Duh. Since the second one came out, Mega Ghost.
Mega Ghost.
I wanted to do issue 2, but didn't have time today. So I'll do that later.
Like I said,
that's one of those ones that I said I'm definitely going to keep on.
Yeah, so like for here, I always tell people, doesn't matter if it's a new book, doesn't matter if it's an issue 2 or issue 3, anything that anybody ever wants to talk about on the show, by all means, bring it on.
I'd like to talk about Penthouse Letters.
That's not exactly a comic, but if Penthouse ever decided to make a comic again,
you better watch it. They do.
See,
so I've heard.
Right.
Subscribe.
They list them.
That's the best part about the gun hunting comic. The best part about this gun hunting comic, I can't get the look because my wife picked this one out for me. I wasn't there.
You brought it to me.
That's right. And you brought me boobies. Thank you for the boobies.
Y'all say that, and I'm pretty sure my wife is the one that picked out the gun hunting. For her. Yeah, we'll talk about those. I haven't gotten to the actual pickups. Yeah. I haven't got to the actual pickups we did, like Ordained and well, we've talked about Nectar before, so but there's Nectar, Ordained, the Machine. Want to talk about Bobby? I'll talk about Bobby Joe next week. Bobby Joe number 3. I'll probably do a little refresher course on Bobby Joe number 1 because I did do a little bit of a review of that one when I did my unboxing for it a long time ago.
I noticed they had a number 2 your Ghost Machine encyclopedia or whatever.
Yeah.
They had a volume 2 this week. So they must be going to keep doing that and keep updating it with their characters or something.
I think they're going to try to eventually do the Marvel DC thing where they have the encyclopedias of,
right.
There's like a new encyclopedia of Marvel and news. Yeah. I think they're going to eventually try to do something like that, which is cool because it's also, I'm that nerd that likes to read stuff like that too. It's like I have my Spider-Man specific encyclopedia. Can't remember what volume it is, but I have it just to read about the characters. And that's the other one. We talk about Ghost Machine. I will talk about Junkyard Joe on the next show. I'm going to crack into that one pretty soon.
Oh.
It's very soon. Trust me. It's like near the top of the pile. Because I've been wanting to read it for a while. Same. I need to. It's not really a cloud or a name drop, but I need to see how Danny's doing. Danny is somebody who works with them over at Image, part of the Ghost Machine stuff. Because I need to see from her how I get those awesome shirts that I see Kyle and Miss Jen wear. Get me a red coat. Yeah, they do, don't they? They have a thread store.
Yeah, but I feel like some of them are like, and it's not seasonal, but like they come out with a line, they sell through all that stock, and then they come out with a new batch of shirts that aren't exactly the same as before. Like those Image shirts that just have the eye and then their cutouts inside of them. That's part of their newer line. But like Red Coat, I don't think was part of the ones that they just sold. Like I think it was just Geiger. Mate, I think Rook was part of the last one.
But also Phable, that means I'm going to drop her a line, see about some Ghost Machine figures. Hey, is that in the cards? Because I know we're getting a movie, and the first one they're doing is Redcoat. Maybe Matt Ryan's going to be Simon Pure. That's going to be pretty dope if that's true.
That'd be
I
cool.
love this Constantine.
Yeah, that would work. I think I kind of read it with his voice, but not actually putting a finger on who it was I was hearing. But that makes sense.
For
'Cause
me,
he
it
looks
was
like Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, but
That's what he looks like.
For me, the voice is somewhere between either Matt Ryan or the guy who played Lucifer. I always forget his name. Played Lucifer on the DC Fox show. Something Ellis, I think.
Tom Ellis.
Tom Ellis. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only Matt Ryan I know is the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm trying to figure out who the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty sure he wasn't Constantine. Look, that dude was so good, and Constantine was not given a fair shot on like CBS or whatever the hell it was on. That show was pretty good. We got the unaired pilot, which is very different from the pilot that they did. That is the one character I know that once the show got canceled, they liked the actor as Constantine so much that they brought him onto other shows and had him voice him in the DC animated stuff.
Which he sounds like Jason Statham, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got that
Mr.
raggedy
Under.
voice.
I got to page 3 of Matt Ryan images, and they were all football. So I give up. What else was he on?
Legends of Tomorrow, Flash.
My goodness, most of his catalog is
Constantine.
DC stuff.
The movie Constantine?
No, he was on the show.
I never saw the show. Is that the same Constantine that Keanu plays?
Yes.
And that's part of the Sandman universe? Is that right?
Yep.
No?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, because in the Sandman Netflix show, they used Joanna Constantine.
Yeah. That's right.
Let's see. Hold on. There we go. Get that. Their screen. No.
I swear to God, if you put a picture of that quarterback up there, I'm going to drive down there and give you a wedgie. He does not look familiar to me at all. Okay. Thank you.
One of the best representations of, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the Keanu Reeves Constantine. I didn't know Constantine was a comic. Like when I first watched that movie, I didn't realize that I was watching a DC property. So I just liked it for what it was. Then I read a couple of things of Hellblazer, John Constantine, the Hellblazer. I was like, okay, it's pretty good.
The really bizarre thing is that with Keanu Reeves and Constantine is it is just so similar to the other Keanu Reeves movie where Al Pacino plays the devil that it was just weird to have him cast in that part too, because it's hard to keep those separate. And I can't remember the name of that movie, and I love that movie.
The Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate. Yep, that's it. I love that movie. Al Pacino is just the man in that movie.
Yes.
It sounds weird to say, but he will always be Satan to me. He knocked that role out of the park, man.
He's always Tony to me.
Tony.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk to Tony Montana?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Scarface.
Tony Montana?
Oh, saying hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
With me, you fucking with the best.
I haven't seen that in decades.
Yeah.
See, you know, Scarface is a good movie. I get a lot of flack for saying that the Godfather movies blow ass because I think they suck. But I like That one. Scarface.
Godfather.
But I can't stand the Godfather movies. Those things are so freaking boring.
It insists upon itself. I don't know what that means. That's just what Peter says. I did not care for The Godfather. What? It's like the perfect movie. It insists upon itself.
That movie sucks.
What does
All
that
three of
mean?
them. Well, I can't say all three of them because I gave up after the second one. It's like I'm not wasting another 2 hours of my life.
Real talk. I don't think I've ever made it through the first one all the way.
I don't blame you. It's boring.
I like
as
the
hell.
killings.
And everybody talks about the horse head scene. I'm like, that is just so stupid. I mean, okay, great. There's a horse head in his bed, and it's bleeding. Wow. Yawn.
I don't know. Great cast, though.
It is a great cast, and that's why it blew me away that it sucked. I thought it was, and everybody talks about it like it's this Ultimate Man movie.
Like, I didn't make it all the way through. I liked the first one for as much as I saw, but at the same time, I was like, man, it's kind of until people are getting whacked. Like, if I don't know, Goodfellas is more of a movie I like. I know what kind of whacked you're thinking of, but that's not the kind of whacked I'm talking about.
Expendables is good. I like that.
Whoa, a little low.
I think we're done here.
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren blows the guy in half.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That was basically it. That was just killing time to get us to at least 3 hours. So we're at 3:07.
Slave driver.
Yeah, I know.
Keep pushing it. Push.
Yeah, you push it. Yeah, you push it.
Oh.
Push it.
Push it.
Push it real good.
That reminded me, I was going to watch sport. What is going on?
It's midnight and the crazy people are out and stuff.
That's true.
I'm about ready to start telling dirty jokes. You better sign off pretty soon.
I'm fixing to. Like I said, won't be any list book. It'll be building the list to go forward with. I have a couple more things, comic book wise, to talk about. I'm hoping some more movie news starts dropping. I want to talk about some movies, but outside of some trailers, I mean, hasn't really been too much. It feels like.
That reminds me, I downloaded a list of the summer movies. So May 8th was when Mortal Kombat came out, so it's already out.
Mm-hmm.
May 22nd is Mandalorian. June 5th is Masters of the Universe and Scary Movie. June 19th is Toy Story 5. June 12th is Disclosure Day. June 26th is Supergirl. July 17th is The Odyssey. July 31st is Spidey. And August 28th is The White Dragon. So there you go.
A white dragon.
The White Dragon. Did he like boot himself?
No, he should be right back.
Oh, okay. He just didn't want to hear me pander.
Wonder if that white dragon is associated with red dragon.
I'm hoping it's associated with the Anne McCaffrey books.
Oh.
I'm hoping. I haven't seen a trailer for it. I just saw these release dates and thought I'd grab them as something to possibly talk about.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Have you seen the movie poster for Scary Movie 5 yet?
No.
They got Ghostface, except Ghostface is Michael Jackson's Ghostface. Dude, it is so freaking funny looking, man. I wish I could share my screen, but I don't. Can I share my screen?
You'll be able to.
Might be able to. I don't know. I don't know if he disables that for us no low folk or.
No, you should just hit the button and then he just adds it.
Well, isn't that special? Entire screen.
He's learning. Look at
Share.
him go.
I know.
He's a big boy.
Hey, Timmy, look at that.
See Michael Jackson as Ghostface?
Oh my god.
I saw that and just started cracking up, man. I was like, because remember they said they were going to make this the most offensive thing ever, and I just started laughing like an idiot when I saw that.
Ow.
Come on.
That also reminds me that eventually, because I'm trying to take it off. There we go. I've watched all the other musical biopics. Really liked Rocket Man. Loved Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm eventually gonna watch Michael. I've seen some clips of it. I think it's like one of his nephews is playing him.
Yep. Did you see the Tom Hiddleston doing Hank Williams? That's a really good one.
I saw the light. It's in my list of what to watch.
That's a really good one. And the one where the Joker plays Elvis. That's a good one.
I thought he played Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's what I
Walk the
meant.
Line, that's a good one.
Elvis was Kurt Russell in the
Yes.
70s. That's really good if you haven't seen that.
And I think Austin, can't remember the guy's name. I think he recently played. Austin Butler played Elvis recently.
The dead guy from Avengers did a really good one
Chadwick
about
Boseman.
Jackie Robinson. That was really good.
Chad.
What was the name of that one? It's his
42?
It's his jersey number, 42.
42.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
42 was excellent.
But speaking of Chadwick, he also did James Brown. Get on up.
That's right.
That's a good
The
one.
singer?
Yeah.
Didn't know there was one.
Oh yeah. Chadwick Boseman. He gets all raspy with his voice to talk like James Brown. It's awesome.
Yes. Okay.
Cool. I'll
Thank
check
you
that
for
out.
reminding me of that one. Adding it to my movie list. We're eventually going to do a movie watch. 3 of us pick a movie. Maybe have our own little movie night. Pick a movie, talk about it. Not that kind of movie, nope.
We're sharing the covers.
I thought you said that those sites were now blocked in Missouri and Texas.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting lonely here.
I waited.
I guess I'll have to supply the stream.
We were watching a movie once, and I was like, where are the girls? But the girls never came. The girls never came.
Put your clothes back on, white boy. We're a simple Dutch bakery.
Those are not hash brownies.
Those are not hash brownies.
Oh,
Huh?
What in the hell are you two talking about?
Euro trip.
Euro trip.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, man. Look, Sean has 4 or 5 times now. And I think he finally remembered this time when I told him. He's like, dude, have you seen? There's this video. I don't know what the movie is, but it's like this dude fighting one of those street performers. And I was like, for the 5th time, Euro trip. I don't know what that is.
Now that I remember.
Yeah.
That's the best part of that movie.
He shows me the clip, and he's like, yeah, it's from Euro trip. I said, I've never shown you that?
Error.
Yes. He's like, no. I said, dude, you got to watch it. I was like, he goes, yeah, it looks like it'd be a lot of fun. I was like, look, man, you remember when I showed you Beer Fest? He goes, oh, yeah, I love that movie. I said, it'll be the same thing, man. Once you actually watch it, you're going to be like, oh, God, this whole movie's fantastic.
Has he ever seen Animal House?
Sean?
If he hasn't, he needs to see Animal House. Any of you, if you haven't seen Animal House.
I keep, you know,
That's the movie that started them all, man. And
Yeah.
my house.
yeah, Sean, I tried to pinpoint and be like, ain't no way Sean's seen this, because I talk to him about stuff sometimes, and he's like, I've never ever heard of that. And then the one time I was like, don't ask him. He's never seen that. He goes, dude, I watched that movie all the time when I was a kid. I was like, the one time you seen something. So, not sure about that, but I mean, I've shown him stuff like Beer Fest and
like how I introduced him to Spidey and Predator, even though you had texted him like 2 weeks earlier or something.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Oh, Grandma's Boy. I showed him Grandma's Boy. That's another freaking just. That's a great movie. Like, yeah, like I said, I've been talking about this for a while. You know, us watch some kind of comedy, horror movie, whatever. Talk about it, maybe.
Have you ever seen The Gods Must Be Crazy?
Yeah.
Oh.
And The Gods Must Be Crazy too.
If you haven't, that's terrible.
I know.
The first one, although, if you guys hadn't seen it, I'd be like, that'd be my pick, because we would have so much fun watching that together.
I mix them up sometimes, but is the first one the one where the Coke bottle or the Pepsi bottle falls out of the plane?
Yep. The movie is just so stupid from beginning to end, because there's another scene where there's a dude that has a machine gun and his partner's in front of him, and he's pulling the trigger and all the bullets are bouncing off his buddy's head. And it's just like, why? Why does this make sense?
Yeah.
And then there's another one where the guy is trying to get somebody free from being stuck. So he hooks his what is that called? Wench up to a tree to pull it out. And it goes into overdrive and pulls his Jeep right up the tree. And the name of the Jeep was the Antichrist. And one of the natives come up and they go, why is the Antichrist up in the tree? I don't know why, but that line always cracks me up.
It's one of those movies that doesn't really make sense, but it's funny. I can't explain. If you haven't seen the movie, folks, I can't explain to you why it's funny.
A guy in a plane throws a Coke bottle, and it lands into a village of natives somewhere in Africa, and they think it's a gift from the gods, and they find all these special uses for this Coke bottle, like crushing their wheat and rolling out flour and all this stuff. But soon the natives become jealous because only one person can use it at a time, and they start fighting over it. And then they decide that this, for some reason, the gods were mad at them, or they must be crazy, thus the name of the movie, for giving them such a dangerous toy that makes everyone want to fight. So they stand there for 5 minutes trying to throw the bottle back into heaven, and it would fall and hit someone new on the head and either kill them or knock them out. And they're like, this is an evil gift. And dude, the whole time I'm peeing my pants laughing because it's so freaking stupid. It's like a group of college guys decided to make a movie stoned, and it's just so dumb, but it's great. It is hilarious.
Exactly.
Can't get back.
Exactly. And it would fall and hit somebody else in the face, and they would fall over. We've angered the gods.
Yeah.
It's if you've never seen it, no. Oh my God, we got to watch it. But don't watch part 2. It's just dumb. It's so bad. It's just dumb. But the first one's great. And the natives talk like, and they have like some idiot narrator talking for them. This is a bad thing. What did we do? And it's just so stupid. Everything about it is just stupid beyond belief, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's one of those, man. It's one of those you don't understand why, but it is.
That is one of those movies that I rented, and I can still remember vividly the day I rented it, because I could not believe what the hell I was watching, and I was only like 16. I'm like, this is the dumbest, best movie I've ever seen. And I've never forgot the name. The Gods Must Be Crazy. It lives right up there with Holy Grail for me. And as far as dumb movies that I love.
I got a movie similar to that. It's called Can It Be Love? It's a movie that is so freaking hard. Like, I had to get it through nefarious means because this movie is, to buy it for whatever reason, it's crazy, stupid expensive. But it's basically these two buddies go to like Fort Lauderdale and they're roped into this not really spy thing, but they're roped into finding this lost heiress that has a rose tattoo on her butt or something. It's basically a booby movie, but it's actually pretty funny. It breaks the fourth wall. Like, the guys know they're in a movie. Like, it's kind of like that.
There's another one that is hilarious that not many people have heard of. I can't remember the name of it, but it stars Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence. And Martin Lawrence carjacks Tim Robbins.
Nothing to Lose.
Yes! That movie is one of the funniest damn movies I've ever seen that no one's heard of.
Yeah.
And every person I've said, rent this movie and watch it, they call me laughing. How did I not hear this? Right? I love that movie. You ever seen it, Jay?
Oh, dude, long time ago, but yeah.
I love that movie.
Dude, hilarious, man.
Wrong guy, wrong day, bitch. Martin Lawrence is like, let me out. I'll give you my gun. Let me out. Nope. Fuck you. We're doing it. And then you come to find out that it's not even what he thought it was. It's just, it's such a funny movie.
Yeah, I want to do some stuff like that. Whether it's here, whether it's with y'all on your channel. I want to do some stuff like that. Just movies that we think, well, if maybe people have seen them or maybe they haven't, but just underrated. Underrated movies. Because there's plenty of them that I'm like, I tell people, I was like, hey, have you ever seen Can It Be Love? They're like, no. What about Miracle Beach? With Amy Dolenz as a genie. Mickey Dolenz' daughter.
I didn't know she acted.
Mm-hmm. It's called Miracle Beach.
You're talking the monkey guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Amy Dolenz was also in Blood Wings, Pumpkinhead Blood Wings, I think.
Oh, I know that movie.
I think she was in that one. She was in one of the Pumpkinhead movies. I remember that.
It's a terrible version, but yeah, I know the movie.
Yeah.
But I love Pumpkinhead. That's the one where they decided to CGI Pumpkinhead and it looks absolutely retarded. He looks like a color form from back in the day, hopping around. It's like, what are you doing to Pumpkinhead?
Yeah. We'll talk more about that because I think that'd be a good idea. Watching movies that we think are underrated or we think people need to see.
But how would you do it? Because couldn't.
We wouldn't show it, but we'd
just react to it.
Gotta figure it out.
We'll let Nope tell us.
We can watch the Ewoks because we're one big happy family.
What was the freaking Ewok movie?
Return of the Jedi.
Battle for Endor.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
The one that had the little girl.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. We should talk about that one.
Have you ever seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? Or have you just heard of it?
I have seen parts.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the whole thing.
Right.
Believe it or not, the entire thing is available free on YouTube. And it's everything that you've always heard it was. Total trash. Carrie Fisher sings. It's all about Chewbacca's wife and his son, and it's just so stupid. I watched it 2-3 years ago, and I was like, "Yep, this is just as bad as I remember." Because I can even remember as a kid not even knowing what WTF meant, going WTF when I was watching this thing. Because everybody, Star Wars is going to be on TV. They're going to have a Christmas special. And then you're like, what the holy hell is happening? Total crap. It was made on a budget of like $12 and a stick of gum. It was just terrible. It's just so stupid.
Hold on, we're just.
Hold on for one more day.
Hmm.
Don't you know? Think could change. Things to go your way.
I wasn't gonna stop now since
I don't know the rest. All right, keep going. I can do Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's what I was doing behind the stage when you were watching me. Because Nope and I were talking about the Oz comic, and that stupid Somewhere Over the Rainbow got stuck in my head.
all right. What is going on there?
I don't know. I think we're waiting for you to end the show.
No, I just saw movement in the little circle. I was like, what is going on here?
It moved.
No,
All right,
circle
guys.
moved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start singing if you don't end the show.
All right, we're
All right.
getting us going, dropping everybody out. I'll see y'all in the back room. I got a funny story, gentlemen, to tell y'all after the show. So I will see y'all in the back. All right, folks. That's going to be it for this Hydra Hangout. I'm going to make the screen a little bigger because I wanted to show off that. So I finally took this out of the box. I don't know if I showed this off last week. There's a way to hang this up on the wall. It's my metal poster of Eddie Munson. I'm saving this space over here when I finally get my wall magnets. Apparently, you can just order the disc plate magnets to hang my Invincible metal poster. And then I should have some Tracy art coming soon to kind of fill this out. My office is still kind of a cluttered mess. We're still unpacking. We're waiting for some things to happen so we can get some shelving to hang stuff. But once this office is done, I'll do like a little tour of it. If you make it this long on the rewatch, thank you. Thanks to everybody who stopped by tonight, checked it out. Be sure, just in case it flew under anyone's radar, check out the live at 2 o'clock in the freaking morning we did. And I'm going to keep calling it the freaking morning because it was just, Sean really wanted to show y'all what he got in his mystery pack he got from Comic Collectibles. So be sure you check that out. I'm going to pop that link in the chat. Very cool stuff. Mystery box, folks, is totally worth it, especially when they drop the price on it. Totally worth grabbing. Don't forget to check me out during the week on the experience. Again, thank you all for being here. If you like what you saw, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. So up to the weirdos. Check the description of this video for links to other channels. I should be updating that pretty soon. We'll be back next week. I'll figure out something to talk about. We'll talk about a few comics, maybe not go do as many in review form. Try to find some other stuff to talk about. Movies, superhero movies, favorite comic, cartoons, what have you, stuff like that. But that's going to do it all for tonight, folks. I hope you have an awesome rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Hydra Asylum Comics for another Hydra Hangout. Later.
We talked about everything that makes us hum. Hail Hydra Asylum, hail Hydra Asylum. From trailers, comics, news, and more, we'll give you what you're looking
Hail Hydra.